You wake up in a strange, beautiful place, but the ground beneath you feels different. It's not just earth, it's alive, humming with an ancient energy that seems to recognize you. As you press your palm against the cool stone, you realize with wonder that you can feel its entire history flowing through your fingertips. Hey guys! Welcome back to our channel. Today we will dive into a bender experience. We might have to swap some words because of copyright claims, but surely true fans will keep up the pace. Don't forget to comment down below where you are watching this video from and what time is it. Now, let's begin our adventure. Your life as a bender in the Earth Kingdom, Segment 1, Arrival and Awakening. Your consciousness drifts back slowly, like emerging from the depths of a peaceful dream. The first thing you notice isn't sight or sound, but sensation, a gentle warmth radiating up through your body from the surface beneath you. Your fingers flex instinctively, and instead of familiar textures, they meet cool, smooth stone that seems to pulse with a subtle rhythm. As your eyes flutter open, you're greeted by a soft, amber glow that fills the space around you. The light doesn't come from any flame or lantern, but from the very walls themselves. Crystalline formations jut from the cave's ceiling and walls, each one emanating a warm, honey-colored luminescence that bathes everything in golden hues. The crystals are beautiful beyond description, some as small as your thumb, others as large as your torso, all growing in organic patterns that seem to follow some ancient, natural law. The air here is different too. It's clean and cool, carrying the faint scent of minerals and something else, something alive and growing. You take a deep breath, and the oxygen feels unusually pure, as if it's been filtered through layers of living rock for centuries. There's a humidity to it, suggesting underground water sources nearby. You sit up slowly, your movements echoing softly in the crystalline chamber. The cave isn't vast, but it's certainly spacious enough to feel comfortable. The walls curve organically, as if they were shaped by patient hands over countless years rather than carved with tools. Every surface is smooth to the touch, worn by time and care into flowing, elegant forms. But it's when you place your palms flat against the stone floor that the truly extraordinary happens. A gentle vibration runs through the rock, and suddenly you can sense everything. The cave extends deeper than you can see, connected to a vast network of tunnels and chambers. You feel the weight of earth above you, not oppressive but protective, like a blanket of stone keeping you safe from the world above. More startling still are the whispers, not sounds, but memories stored in the very minerals around you. You sense the countless years this stone has existed, the slow formation of these crystals, the careful cultivation of this sacred space. There's a history here, told in the language of geology and time, and somehow, impossibly, you can read it. Your heart pounds as you realize this isn't just any cave. This is a place of power, a sanctuary where the earth itself seems to welcome you. The stone beneath your hands grows warmer at your touch, as if responding to your presence. You're no longer just a person in a cave, you're connected to something vast and ancient, something that recognizes you as one of its own. The realization hits you with gentle certainty. You're not in your own world anymore. But rather than fear, you feel a profound sense of homecoming, as if you've finally arrived where you were always meant to be. As you rise to your feet, the crystal cave reveals a passage at its far end, an archway carved with intricate geometric patterns that seem to shift and flow in the amber light. The passage slopes gently upward, and as you follow it, the sound of your footsteps creates a soft, rhythmic percussion that echoes musically off the walls. The tunnel opens gradually, and you find yourself standing on a stone balcony overlooking one of the most magnificent sights you've ever witnessed. Below you stretches an entire city, carved directly from the living rock of an enormous underground cavern. The scale is breathtaking. The cavern ceiling arches hundreds of feet above, supported by massive natural pillars that have been lovingly shaped into towering columns decorated with spiral patterns and flowing curves. The city spreads out in terraced levels, each one connected by graceful stone bridges and sweeping staircases. Every building, every walkway, every decorative element has been carved from the same warm, golden stone, creating a harmonious whole that seems to grow organically from the earth itself. There are no harsh angles or forced symmetries. Everything flows with the natural grain of the rock, as if the city was discovered rather than built. Along the walls of the cavern, you can see the soft glow of bioluminescent fungi, great patches of blue-green light that pulse gently like a slow heartbeat. These living lanterns provide a dreamy, ethereal illumination that complements the warm crystal light. The combination creates an atmosphere that's both magical and deeply peaceful. The sound of water reaches your ears, not the rush of a river, but the gentle murmur of streams and fountains woven throughout the city. You can see them now, narrow channels carved into the stone walkways, carrying clear water that catches and reflects the ambient light. The water seems to serve both practical and aesthetic purposes, providing drinking water and irrigation while creating a constant, soothing soundtrack to city life. As you descend the broad stone steps leading into the city proper, you notice the incredible attention to detail in every carved surface. Handrails are sculpted to fit perfectly in your grip, their surfaces worn smooth by countless hands. The steps themselves are sized just right for comfortable walking, with subtle textures that prevent slipping without being rough on bare feet. The architecture tells a story of patience and masterful craftsmanship. This isn't a city built in haste. Every arch, every pillar, every decorative motif has been carefully considered and lovingly executed. You can see the marks of earthbending in the flowing forms, but also the touch of conventional tools in the finest details. This is a place where art and practicality have been perfectly balanced. People move through the streets with the same unhurried grace as the architecture around them. They're dressed in earth-toned clothing, browns, greens, and golds that complement the stone surroundings. Their movements are deliberate and grounded, and you notice how they often pause to touch walls or railings, as if drawing strength and connection from the stone itself. The air is filled with the gentle sounds of daily life, the soft murmur of conversation, the distant ring of metal on stone, the splash of water in fountains, and underneath it all, a barely perceptible humming that seems to come from the earth itself. It's as if the city is alive, breathing with a rhythm all its own. As you walk deeper into this underground marvel, you realize that this isn't just a place to live, it's a sanctuary, a testament to the harmony possible between human ingenuity and the natural world. Every breath you take, every step you make, reinforces the sense that you've found somewhere truly special. As you stand in wonder at the heart of the underground city, a gentle voice speaks behind you. Beautiful, isn't it? Even after 40 years here, I still stop to admire it every day. You turn to find an elderly man approaching with slow, measured steps. His hair is silver white, pulled back in a simple ponytail, and his face is lined with the kind of wrinkles that come from decades of smiling. His eyes are the color of deep forest earth, warm and knowing, and they seem to see right through to your soul with kindness rather than judgment. He's dressed in simple robes of muted green and brown, practical rather than ornate, but the fabric looks incredibly soft and well cared for. Around his neck hangs a small pendant made of polished stone, and his hands, weathered but steady, bear the calluses of someone who has spent a lifetime working with earth and stone. "I am Master Feng," he says, bowing slightly with his hands pressed together. "And you, young one, are exactly where you need to be." His voice carries the authority of age and wisdom, but there's nothing intimidating about him. Instead, he radiates the same groundedness you felt in the stone around you, a sense of deep stability and infinite patience. "I imagine you have many questions," he continues, settling onto a stone bench that seems to have been carved specifically for quiet conversations. The awakening can be disorienting. One moment you're in your familiar world, the next you're here, connected to something vast and ancient that you never knew existed. He gestures for you to sit beside him, and as you do, you notice how the stone seems to warm slightly under your touch. Master Feng notices too, and he nods approvingly. "The earth recognizes you," he explains gently. "This doesn't happen by accident. You've been called here because you have a gift, a connection to the element of earth that runs deeper than most people ever experience. In your world, this gift may have been dormant, but here, in this place where the barriers between worlds are thin, it can finally awaken." He reaches into his robes and pulls out a small, smooth stone. It's nothing special to look at, just a river rock, polished by countless years of flowing water. But as he places it in your palm, you feel something extraordinary. The stone seems to pulse with warmth, and you can sense its history, the mountain it came from, the river that shaped it, the hands that have held it before yours. "This is a greeting stone," Master Feng explains. "It's been touched by every earthbender who has come to this city in the past century. Their energy, their connection to the earth, is stored within it. Consider it a welcome gift from all those who have walked this path before you." The ceremony is simple but profound. Master Feng guides you through the traditional earthbender greeting, both hands pressed flat against the stone, breathing slowly and deeply, allowing your natural energy to flow into the rock and mingle with the impressions left by others. As you do this, you feel an overwhelming sense of belonging, as if you've been accepted into a family you never knew existed. The earth teaches us patience, Master Feng says as the ceremony concludes. Unlike fire, which burns bright and fast, or water, which flows and changes, earth endures. It supports, it protects, it provides foundation for all life. These are the qualities you will learn to embody as you develop your gift. His weathered hands cover yours, and you feel the wisdom of decades of earth-bending practice flowing through his touch. But first, he says with a gentle smile, you must learn to listen. The earth has much to teach, but it speaks in whispers, not shouts. Come, let me show you to your home. Master Feng leads you to a quiet courtyard where the sound of flowing water mingles with the soft echo of your footsteps. The space is circular, surrounded by carved stone walls that rise to meet the natural rock ceiling high above. In the center, a small garden grows in carefully tended soil, not the mineral-rich earth of the caves, but dark, fertile ground that must have been brought here specially. Before you can bend earth, Master Feng explains, settling cross-legged on the smooth stone floor, you must understand earth. Sit with me. You mirror his position, feeling the cool stone beneath you. The surface is worn smooth by countless students who have sat in this exact spot, learning these same fundamental lessons. There's something comforting about being part of this ancient tradition. Close your eyes, Master Feng instructs, his voice taking on the cadence of a teacher who has given this lesson many times. Feel the stone beneath you. Don't just touch it, listen to it. Every piece of earth has a story. This stone remembers the mountain it came from, the pressure that formed it, the hands that shaped it into this courtyard. As you follow his guidance, something remarkable happens. The stone beneath your palms begins to feel less like an inanimate object and more like something alive. You can sense its density, its internal structure, even its subtle vibrations. It's as if you're developing a new sense, one that allows you to perceive the world in ways you never imagined. Good, Master Feng murmurs. I can feel your connection strengthening. Now, extend your awareness. Feel the earth around you, not just the stone you're touching, but the soil in the garden, the walls of this courtyard, the very foundations of this city. The sensation is overwhelming at first. You can feel the vast network of stone and earth that surrounds you, layer upon layer of geological history. But Master Feng's steady presence grounds you, teaching you to filter and focus your newfound perception. The earth element is not about force, he explains. It's about understanding. When you truly understand a piece of earth, its nature, its history, its desires, then you can work with it rather than against it. This is the secret that many earthbenders never learn. They see earth as something to be dominated, but true mastery comes from partnership. He reaches into his robes and produces a small collection of stones, each one different in size, color, and texture. There's a piece of rough granite, a smooth river stone, a chunk of crystalline quartz, and a handful of rich, dark soil. Each of these represents a different aspect of the earth element, he explains, placing them before you. The granite speaks of strength and endurance. The river stone knows about adaptation and change. The quartz contains clarity and focus. The soil represents growth and nurturing. Touch each one. Listen to what they have to tell you. As you handle each sample, you're amazed by how different they feel. The granite pulses with steady, unwavering strength. The river stone seems to flow in your hands, despite being solid. The quartz resonates with a clear, pure energy that makes your thoughts sharper. The soil feels warm and alive, full of potential. This is your heritage, Master Feng says softly. Not just the ability to move earth, but the wisdom to understand it. In your world, people often see earth as merely dirt and stone. But here, you'll learn that earth is the foundation of all life, the patient teacher, the eternal provider. He guides you through your first practical exercise. It's not about moving massive boulders or creating impressive displays of power. Instead, he places a single pebble in your palm and asks you to simply listen to it. Feel its weight, he instructs. Understand its structure. Appreciate its journey from mountain to riverbed to your hand. When you truly know this pebble, when you can feel its essence, then you can ask it to move. The process is meditative, almost spiritual. You spend long minutes simply holding the small stone, letting your awareness sink into its crystalline structure. And then, without forcing anything, you feel a connection form. The pebble doesn't just rest in your palm, It belongs there, as if it wants to be part of your energy. With the gentlest thought, the smallest intention, the pebble lifts from your palm. It hovers there for just a moment, suspended not by force but by mutual understanding. Then it settles back into your hand, and you can swear you feel it purring with contentment. Excellent, Master Feng beams. You have the gift, and more importantly, you have the wisdom to use it properly. Many students try to force their first earthbending, but you listened first. This tells me you'll become a true master of the element. The profound sense of belonging you felt earlier deepens. This isn't just about developing a new ability, it's about discovering a fundamental part of yourself that has been waiting to awaken. The earth recognizes you because you are, in some essential way, part of it. Master Feng leads you through winding corridors carved from living rock, each turn revealing new wonders of underground architecture. The walls are covered in subtle carvings, geometric patterns that seem to shift and flow in the crystal light, telling stories of ancient earthbenders and their harmony with the stone. The dormitories are this way, he explains, his voice echoing softly in the tunnel. Each room is carved specifically for its inhabitant. The earth tells us what shape it wants to take, and we simply guide the process. You arrive at a corridor lined with heavy wooden doors set into arched openings. Each door is unique, carved with different patterns and symbols. Master Feng stops at one near the end of the hall, a door decorated with spiraling vines and small crystal formations that catch and reflect the ambient light. This is yours, he says, producing a key made of polished stone. The earth chose this room for you before you even arrived. Sometimes the stone knows things before we do. The key turns smoothly in the lock, and the door swings open on silent hinges. Your first glimpse of your new home takes your breath away. The room has been carved from a single piece of granite, the walls flowing seamlessly into floor and ceiling in organic curves that feel completely natural. The stone has been polished to a warm, matte finish that seems to absorb and reflect light in equal measure. The space is larger than you expected, with a comfortable living area that opens onto a smaller sleeping alcove. Everything is shaped from the same granite, a desk that grows from the floor near one wall, shelves that curve naturally from the rock, even a comfortable chair that seems to have been carved to fit your exact proportions. The furniture knows you, Master Feng explains, noticing your amazement. When the earth shapes a room, it takes into account not just your physical needs, but your spiritual ones as well. This chair will support you during meditation, this desk will inspire your studies, these shelves will hold your treasures. The sleeping alcove is particularly wonderful. The bed is a raised platform carved from the same granite, but covered with layers of soft mattresses and blankets in earth tones, deep browns, rich greens, and warm golds. The headboard curves naturally from the wall, shaped like a gentle wave of stone that seems to cradle and protect. But it's the lighting that truly makes the room special. Throughout the walls, small crystals have been embedded in natural formations. They glow with the same warm amber light you first experienced in the awakening cave, but here they're arranged in patterns that create pools of brightness for reading and working, while leaving other areas in restful shadow. The crystals respond to your presence, Master Feng demonstrates, approaching one wall. As he nears, the crystals brighten slightly, providing more light for whatever task he might need to perform. They'll learn your rhythms, brightening when you're active, dimming when you rest. After a few days, they'll know your schedule better than you do. Near the back wall, a small niche has been carved to hold personal belongings. It's the perfect size for the few things you might want to keep close. The greeting stone Master Feng gave you, perhaps some mementos from your previous life, anything that helps you feel at home in this new world. And here, Master Feng says, opening a concealed panel in the wall, is your earthbender's wardrobe. Inside, you find several sets of clothing unlike anything you've worn before. The robes are made from a fabric that feels almost like stone, rough-textured but surprisingly comfortable, dyed in the classic Earth Kingdom colors of green and brown. The material is sturdy and practical, designed for someone who might spend their days working with earth and stone. You lift one of the robes, feeling its weight and texture. It's heavier than your old clothes, but not uncomfortably so. The fabric seems to radiate a subtle warmth, and when you hold it close, you can detect the faint scent of minerals and growing things. These are made from earth cotton, Master Feng explains. It's a plant that grows only in deep caves, nourished by mineral-rich water. The fabric becomes stronger with age and wear, and it helps earthbenders maintain their connection to the element even when they're not actively bending. As you explore your new home, You notice countless small details that speak to the care and wisdom of its creators. The floor is slightly textured to provide good footing, but smooth enough to be comfortable on bare feet. The walls are thick enough to provide perfect insulation, keeping the temperature comfortable regardless of the season above ground. Even the acoustics have been considered. The curved walls minimize echo while maintaining a sense of spaciousness. The silence in the room is profound but not oppressive. It's the kind of deep quiet that invites rest and contemplation. You can hear the faint settling of stone, not creaking like wood, but subtle adjustments as the earth finds its perfect balance. It's a comforting sound, like the breathing of the mountain itself. As you sit on your new bed, running your hands over the smooth stone walls, you feel a deep sense of peace settling over you. This isn't just a place to sleep, it's a sanctuary, a space where you can grow and learn and become the earthbender you're meant to be. The stone around you seems to pulse with quiet approval, welcoming you home. Rest now, Master Feng says softly from the doorway. Tomorrow, your real education begins. But tonight, simply enjoy being exactly where you belong. As he closes the door behind him, you're left alone with your thoughts and the gentle glow of the crystal lights. Outside, the underground city continues its peaceful rhythm, but here in your stone sanctuary, you feel perfectly safe and completely at home. The earth element has claimed you, and you have claimed it in return. The last thing you notice before sleep takes you is the subtle vibration in the stone, not movement, but a kind of earthen purr that seems to say, "Welcome home, Earthbender." Welcome home. Your life as a bender in the Earth Kingdom. Segment 2. Daily life in the magical world. The first rays of sunlight never reach your underground chamber, but your body has learned to sense when dawn arrives through subtler signs. The air pressure shifts ever so slightly as the earth above begins to warm, creating tiny movements in the stone that only an earthbender can feel. This is how you wake each morning, not to the harsh sound of bells or the brightness of sun, but to the gentle whisper of the mountain itself telling you it's time to begin another day. Your feet find the cold stone floor beside your simple bed, and immediately you feel grounded. This moment of contact between skin and stone is sacred to earthbenders. The chill travels up through your legs, awakening every nerve and reminding you that you are part of something much larger than yourself. The stone beneath your feet has been here for thousands of years, perhaps millions, and it will remain long after you're gone. This thought doesn't make you feel small. Instead, it connects you to the eternal strength of the earth. You walk slowly to the center of your chamber, where a circle of smooth river stones marks your meditation space. Each stone was carefully chosen during your early training, and over the months, they've become familiar friends. You settle into your meditation pose, legs crossed, spine straight but not rigid, hands resting gently on your knees. The position mirrors the stability of a mountain, rooted, unmoving, but alive with quiet energy. The morning meditation begins with breath work, but not the light, airy breathing of other bending arts. Your breath is deep and slow, drawing air down into your belly where it can settle and find weight. You breathe in for 8 counts, hold for 4, then release for 8 more. Each exhale seems to make you heavier, more connected to the ground beneath you. Some earthbenders say this breathing technique helps them feel the rhythm of the earth itself, the slow, patient pulse of geological time. As your breathing settles into its natural rhythm, you begin to extend your awareness beyond your physical body. First, you feel the stones beneath you, their texture, temperature, and subtle vibrations. Then your consciousness expands to include the walls of your chamber, sensing the grain of the rock, the small fissures and veins of different minerals. You can feel the massive weight of the mountain above, not as a burden but as a protective presence. This is earth sensing, one of the most fundamental skills an earthbender must master. With practice, you can feel the footsteps of someone walking 3 chambers away, sense the movement of groundwater through tiny cracks in the stone, even detect the slow shifting of the mountain's foundation. But for now, in these quiet morning moments, you simply rest in the awareness of being held by something vast and ancient. Your meditation teacher once told you that mountains are the earth's memories. Each layer of stone represents years of patience, of weathering storms and holding firm against wind and water. As you sit in stillness, you sometimes feel you can hear these memories, not as words or images, but as a deep knowing that seeps into your bones. The mountain has seen civilizations rise and fall, has felt the footsteps of countless earthbenders before you, and somehow, in these moments of quiet connection, you become part of that eternal story. The meditation concludes as naturally as it began. You don't set a timer or count minutes. Instead, You simply rest in the earth's embrace until you feel ready to begin your day. This might be 15 minutes, or it might be 30. Time moves differently when you're connected to something that measures existence in centuries rather than moments. The training courtyard is carved from a single massive boulder, its walls smooth and marked with the scars of thousands of practice sessions. Master Feng is already waiting when you arrive, standing perfectly still in the center of the space. He's a man of perhaps 60 years, though his exact age is hard to determine. Earthbenders tend to age like the stone they bend, slowly and with dignity. His hair is iron gray, pulled back in a simple knot, and his earth-colored robes are practical rather than ornate. "Today we continue your foundation work," he says without preamble. Master Feng doesn't believe in wasted words or flowery greetings. Every statement has purpose, like every movement in earthbending. "Show me your ready stance." You move into position, feet shoulder-width apart, knees slightly bent, weight evenly distributed. Your hands are relaxed but ready, fingers spread to better feel the vibrations in the air. This stance is called mountain's root. It's designed to make you immovable, like a tree that's grown from solid rock. Master Feng circles you slowly, occasionally adjusting your posture with gentle touches. "Your left shoulder is too high," he observes. "Tension creates weakness. The mountain does not strain to remain standing." You relax the shoulder, feeling the difference immediately. Better. Now, why do we begin each lesson with stance work? Because earthbending begins with being unmovable, you reply, reciting the lesson you've heard dozens of times. We cannot bend the earth if we are not first rooted in it ourselves. Correct, but incomplete, Master Feng says, settling into his own stance across from you. We practice stance work because earthbending is not about controlling the earth, it's about joining with it. When you truly understand your connection to the stone beneath your feet, moving larger stones becomes as natural as moving your own arm. He demonstrates by casually gesturing to a boulder the size of a barrel. Without apparent effort, the massive stone rises from the ground and floats gently through the air to rest beside him. But you've been watching carefully, and you noticed the subtle shift in his stance, the way his breathing deepened for just a moment, the slight tension in his fingers as he felt for the stone's natural balance point. "Your turn," he says, indicating a much smaller stone, perhaps the size of your fist. "But first, tell me about patience." This is part of the lesson structure. Before any practical work, Master Feng requires you to demonstrate your understanding of earthbending philosophy. Patience is the earthbender's greatest tool, you begin. Fire is urgent, air is swift, water flows around obstacles. But earth waits. Earth endures. We strike at the right moment, not the first moment. Master Feng nods approvingly. And what is the right moment? When the opponent has committed to their attack and cannot change direction. When they are off balance, overextended, or distracted. We wait for them to create their own weakness. Good. Now show me this patience with the stone. You approach the small boulder, but don't immediately try to lift it. Instead, you place your hands on its surface and close your eyes. The stone is warm from the morning sun, rough with tiny crystals that catch against your palms. You feel its weight, its density, the way it sits in the earth. Every stone has a natural grain, a direction it wants to move, and your job is to find that direction rather than forcing your will upon it. Slowly, you begin to sense the stone's balance point. It's not quite where you expected. The boulder is slightly heavier on one side due to a vein of denser mineral running through it. You adjust your stance, shifting your weight to mirror the stone's natural tendency. When you finally attempt to lift it, the boulder rises smoothly, as if it had been waiting for you to understand its nature. Better, Master Feng says, though his tone suggests there's still room for improvement. But I could see you fighting it at first. You wanted to lift it straight up, but the stone wanted to tilt slightly left. Always listen to what the earth is telling you. The lesson continues with increasingly complex exercises. You practice moving stones along curved paths, learning to guide rather than force their movement. Master Feng shows you how to feel the grain of the rock, how different types of stone respond to different approaches. Granite requires firm confidence, while limestone responds better to gentle persuasion. Sandstone can be shaped and molded, but marble demands respect for its crystalline structure. Earthbending is a conversation, Master Feng explains as you practice switching between different types of stone. Each rock has its own personality, its own history. A stone that was formed in the heart of a volcano will behave differently from one that was shaped by centuries of river water. Learn to feel these differences, and you'll never meet a stone you cannot bend. The class concludes with form practice, the slow, deliberate movements that are the foundation of earthbending technique. Unlike the fluid forms of waterbending or the aggressive strikes of firebending, earthbending forms are characterized by their weight and precision. Each movement has a specific purpose, and there are no wasted motions. You practice the mountain's judgment form, a sequence of stances and hand movements that teaches you to shift your weight and center of gravity while maintaining perfect balance. As you move through the familiar sequence, you feel the meditative quality that Master Feng often talks about. Your mind becomes quiet, focused entirely on the relationship between your body and the ground beneath your feet. Each stance flows into the next with the inevitability of geological change, slow, patient, but ultimately unstoppable. The tunnels leading to the marketplace are a marvel of earthbending engineering. Carved directly from the living rock, they follow the natural contours of the mountain's internal structure, creating a network of passages that feels both man-made and organic. The walls are smooth but not sterile, bearing the subtle marks of the earthbending masters who shaped them generations ago. Small alcoves every few dozen feet hold luminous crystals that provide a warm, steady light without the harsh glare of torches. As you descend deeper into the mountain, the tunnels gradually widen and the ceiling rises. You can hear the marketplace before you see it, a low murmur of voices, the ring of hammers on metal, the scrape of stone being carved. The sound echoes strangely in the tunnels, creating an acoustic environment that's both intimate and grand. The marketplace itself opens before you like a vast underground cathedral. The ceiling disappears into shadows high above, supported by massive natural columns that earthbending architects have carefully preserved and enhanced. The floor is a mixture of polished stone and packed earth, worn smooth by countless years of foot traffic. Stalls and shops are built into the walls themselves, carved from the living rock and fitted with wooden doors and shutters that add warmth to the stone environment. Your first stop is always the crystal seller's stall. Master Cow is a woman of middle years whose earthbending specialty is sensing and extracting the most beautiful mineral formations from deep within the mountain. Her stall is a wonder of natural geometry. Shelves carved directly from the rock wall display hundreds of crystals, each one positioned to catch the light in a different way. "Ah, young earthbender," she greets you with a warm smile. "Come to admire my latest finds." She gestures to a new display of amethyst clusters, their purple crystals catching the light like frozen flowers. "These came from a geode I found just yesterday, 20 levels down. The mountain gifted them to me after I spent 3 hours in meditation, listening for the right place to begin my excavation." You examine the crystals with genuine interest. To an earthbender, these formations represent the planet's artistic expression, each one unique, shaped by millions of years of mineral-rich water slowly depositing layer upon layer of crystal. Master Cow explains how she can sense the internal structure of rock formations, feeling for the hollow spaces where the most beautiful crystals grow. "Earthbending taught me patience," she continues, carefully arranging a display of quartz points. "I could force my way through the rock, break it apart to reach the crystals quickly. But that would damage both the stone and the crystals within. Instead, I work with the natural fracture lines, follow the path the mountain wants me to take. The crystals I find this way are perfect, undamaged by hasty extraction." Next, you visit the metalworking section, where the sound of hammers creates a rhythmic percussion that echoes through the cavern. The smiths here work with metals extracted from the mountain itself, iron, copper, and even small amounts of precious metals that earthbenders have located in hidden veins. But these aren't just ordinary blacksmiths. Many of them are earthbenders who specialize in metal bending, a rare and advanced technique that allows them to sense and manipulate refined metals. Master Jean demonstrates his technique as you watch. He's working on a set of armor plates, and rather than heating the metal red-hot and hammering it into shape, he places his hands on the cold steel and closes his eyes. You can see the concentration in his face as he extends his earth-bending senses into the metal, feeling for the tiny earth particles that remain even in refined steel. Slowly, impossibly, the metal begins to flow like thick liquid, reshaping itself under his guidance. "Metal is just refined earth," he explains, his voice slightly strained from concentration. "Most people think metal bending is a different art, but it's really just earth bending with greater precision. I feel for the impurities, the tiny particles of earth that remain in even the purest metal. Through them, I can influence the entire piece. The armor plate he's working on develops a series of interlocking scales, each one perfectly fitted to the next. The finished piece will be both beautiful and functional, offering protection while maintaining the flexibility necessary for earthbending combat. Master Jin's apprentices watch carefully, most of them still learning to sense metal at all, let alone shape it. The food vendors occupy a section of the marketplace where the ceiling is lower and the atmosphere more intimate. The Earth Kingdom's cuisine reflects the practical, grounding nature of its people. Most dishes are based on root vegetables, hardy grains, and cave-grown mushrooms. The cooking methods emphasize slow preparation and hearty flavors rather than delicate presentation. You stop at Master Chen's stall, where he's just pulled a batch of stone-baked bread from his earthbending oven. The oven itself is a marvel, a hollow chamber he's carved from solid rock, with channels that allow him to control the heat precisely using earthbending techniques. The bread emerges with a crust that's perfectly golden and an interior that's soft and warm. The secret is in the stone, Master Chen explains, breaking open a loaf to show you the perfect texture inside. Different stones hold heat differently. Granite holds heat evenly but releases it slowly. Sandstone heats quickly but cools quickly too. I carved this oven from a special type of volcanic rock that holds heat steadily for hours. The bread practically bakes itself. He serves you a thick slice spread with cave mushroom butter and a drizzle of crystallized honey. The flavors are simple but deeply satisfying, the kind of food that nourishes both body and spirit. As you eat, Master Chen tells you about the mushroom farms deeper in the mountain, where earthbenders have created perfect growing conditions in chambers carved from the living rock. The textile section features clothing and fabrics designed for the earthbending lifestyle. The materials are practical rather than ornate, sturdy cotton and wool dyed in earth tones, leather goods that can withstand the rough treatment of daily earthbending practice, and specialized clothing designed to allow full range of motion while providing protection. Master Li specializes in earthbending robes and training clothes. Her designs are based on centuries of tradition, but she's constantly making small improvements based on feedback from students and masters. The robes she creates feature reinforced areas where earthbending stances create the most stress, hidden pockets for small tools and crystals, and subtle design elements that help with balance and movement. Earthbending clothing must be like earthbending itself, she explains while fitting you for a new training robe. Practical, durable, and comfortable enough to be forgotten. If you're thinking about your clothes during a lesson, they're not doing their job properly. As your exploration of the marketplace continues, you're struck by the sense of community that pervades the entire space. This isn't just a place for commerce, it's a gathering place where earthbenders from different specialties can share knowledge and techniques. The crystal miners learn from the metalworkers, the food vendors collaborate with the textile makers, and everyone benefits from the cross-pollination of ideas. The marketplace represents one of the great strengths of Earth Kingdom culture, the understanding that individual mastery is enhanced by community cooperation. Each vendor is an expert in their field, but they're also part of a larger network of knowledge and skill that makes everyone stronger. The stone library is perhaps the most impressive single chamber in the entire mountain complex. Carved from a natural cavern over the course of several generations, it rises nearly 100 feet from floor to ceiling, with reading alcoves and study chambers carved into the walls at multiple levels. A series of earthbending crafted ramps and bridges connect the different levels, creating a three-dimensional maze of knowledge that reflects the layered nature of the mountain itself. The entrance to the library is marked by two massive stone doors, each carved with intricate reliefs depicting the history of earthbending. The doors are so perfectly balanced that they can be opened with a single finger, despite weighing several tons each. This is a demonstration of earthbending precision. The doors were carved and fitted by masters who understood exactly how to distribute weight and locate pivot points. Inside, the library maintains a reverent quiet that seems to absorb sound rather than echo it. The walls are lined with scroll cases carved directly from the rock, each one fitted with wooden doors to protect the ancient texts within. The floors are polished stone, worn smooth by generations of students and scholars, but treated with earthbending techniques that prevent them from becoming slippery. Natural light enters through a series of carefully positioned crystal formations that have been enhanced by earthbending masters to collect and amplify the small amount of sunlight that filters down through cracks in the mountain. The result is a soft, steady illumination that's perfect for reading without causing the eye strain that would come from torchlight or candles. You make your way to your favorite study alcove, a small chamber carved into the wall about 20 feet above the main floor. The alcove is just large enough for a desk, chair, and small shelf, but it offers a perfect view of the library's central chamber and provides the privacy necessary for concentrated study. The desk itself is a marvel of earth-bending craftsmanship, carved from a single piece of stone but shaped and polished to provide the perfect working surface. Today's study session focuses on the historical texts about the original earthbenders, the badgermoles. These massive, blind creatures live in the deepest parts of the mountain system, and they were the first earthbenders on the planet. According to the ancient texts, early humans learned earthbending by observing and eventually befriending these remarkable animals. The scroll you're reading today is a first-hand account written by Master Toph, one of the first humans to make contact with the badgermoles. Her descriptions of their earthbending techniques are fascinating. The creatures don't use the formal stances and movements that human earthbenders have developed. Instead, they seem to bend earth through pure intention and connection, moving massive amounts of rock with what appears to be effortless ease. The badgermoles taught me that earthbending is not about force, Master Toph writes. It's about understanding. When you truly know a piece of earth, its composition, its history, its natural tendencies, you can guide it as easily as you guide your own arm. The moles don't fight the earth, they dance with it. This philosophy permeates all advanced earthbending instruction. The techniques you're learning in your daily classes are designed to help you develop this deep connection with stone and earth. Every exercise, from the simplest stance work to the most complex forms, is aimed at building your sensitivity to the natural world around you. Another text you study discusses the great earthbending masters of history, figures who moved mountains, carved entire cities from solid rock, and developed the foundational techniques that all earthbenders still use today. These stories aren't just inspiring, they're instructional. Each master discovered something new about the relationship between earthbender and earth, and their insights have been preserved in these ancient scrolls. Master Bumi's writings are particularly interesting. He developed many of the defensive techniques that earthbenders use today, based on his understanding that the best earthbending defense is not to block an attack but to redirect it. His famous neutral Jing philosophy teaches earthbenders to remain calm and centered, waiting for the perfect moment to act rather than rushing into battle. Earthbending is the element of substance, Master Bumi writes. We are not flashy like fire or fluid like water. We are the foundation upon which all other things rest. When others exhaust themselves with frantic action, we remain steady. When others break themselves against obstacles, we find another path. Patience is our greatest weapon. The philosophical texts are balanced by more practical manuals that detail specific techniques and training methods. These scrolls contain detailed diagrams showing proper stance and hand positions, descriptions of meditation techniques for improving earth sensitivity, and step-by-step instructions for advanced earthbending forms. One particularly valuable manual discusses the different types of earth and how to work with each one. Clay requires different techniques than granite, sand behaves differently than packed soil, and each type of stone has its own characteristics that must be understood and respected. The manual includes detailed charts showing the mineral composition of different rock types and how these compositions affect earthbending techniques. As you study, you occasionally look up to observe other students in the library. Some are working on the same historical texts you're reading, while others focus on specialized subjects like architecture, metallurgy, or crystal formation. The library serves students at all levels, from beginners learning basic earthbending theory to advanced practitioners researching new techniques. The atmosphere in the library encourages deep concentration and contemplation. The stone walls seem to absorb distractions, creating a space where your mind can focus entirely on the texts before you. Time passes differently here. What feels like a few minutes of reading often turns out to be an hour or more. Your study session concludes with a review of your notes and a few minutes of meditation on what you've learned. The ancient masters whose writings you've been studying faced the same challenges you face today, learning to balance power with precision, strength with sensitivity, individual mastery with community responsibility. Their insights, preserved in these stone-carved scrolls, continue to guide new generations of earthbenders. The Great Dining Hall represents the heart of the earthbending community, a vast chamber where students, masters, and staff gather twice daily to share meals and conversation. The hall is carved from a single enormous cavern, with a vaulted ceiling that disappears into shadows high above. The floor is polished stone, worn smooth by countless feet over many generations, and the walls are lined with alcoves containing soft glowing crystals that provide warm, steady light. The dining tables themselves are marvels of earthbending craftsmanship. Each one is carved from a single massive stone, shaped and polished to provide a smooth surface that can accommodate 20 people comfortably. The tables are arranged in long rows, with the master's table positioned on a raised platform at the front of the hall. This arrangement reflects the hierarchical nature of earthbending instruction while still maintaining the sense of community that binds everyone together. As evening approaches, the hall begins to fill with the sounds of preparation. The kitchen staff, many of whom are earthbenders themselves, use their abilities to assist with cooking and serving. Stone ovens maintain perfect temperatures, earthbending helps with the heavy lifting of large pots and serving dishes, and the entire process flows with the efficiency that comes from years of practice. You enter the hall with your fellow students, and the first thing you notice is the aroma. Tonight's meal features roasted root vegetables, fresh bread, and a hearty stew made from cave-grown mushrooms and preserved meat. The Earth Kingdom's cuisine is known for its emphasis on substance and nourishment rather than delicate flavors or elaborate presentation. Every dish is designed to provide the energy and nutrition that earthbenders need for their demanding physical training. The seating arrangement in the dining hall is informal but follows certain unspoken traditions. Students of similar skill levels tend to sit together, not out of exclusivity but because they're working through similar challenges and can support each other's learning. New students are always welcomed at any table, and the more experienced students take pride in sharing their knowledge and helping newcomers adjust to life in the mountain. As you settle into your usual seat, you're joined by several other students from your earthbending class. The conversation flows naturally from the day's lessons to questions about upcoming tests and evaluations. Master Feng's instruction methods are a frequent topic of discussion. His seemingly simple exercises often contain layers of meaning that only become apparent with time and practice. I finally understood what he meant about listening to the stone, shares Lin, a student who's been training for about 6 months longer than you. I was trying so hard to make the boulder move that I couldn't feel what it was trying to tell me. Once I stopped forcing and started listening, everything became easier. This kind of shared insight is common during evening meals. Students often find that discussing their experiences helps them understand lessons that seemed confusing during the day. The earthbending masters encourage this peer learning, knowing that sometimes a fellow student can explain a concept in a way that resonates better than formal instruction. The masters themselves eat at the same time as the students, though at their own table where they can discuss administrative matters and share their own insights about teaching and technique. Occasionally, a master will join the student tables, either to continue a lesson from earlier in the day or simply to enjoy the company of the younger earthbenders. The food service is efficient and generous. Large stone platters are passed from person to person, and everyone serves themselves according to their needs. The portions are substantial. Earthbending training requires significant physical energy, and the meals are designed to provide the nutrition necessary for demanding practice sessions. Tonight's stew is particularly satisfying. The mushrooms add a rich, earthy flavor that complements the tender chunks of meat and root vegetables. The broth is thick and warming, perfect for the cool underground environment. Alongside the stew, there's fresh bread that's still warm from the stone ovens, butter churned from the milk of mountain goats, and a selection of pickled vegetables that add brightness to the heavier dishes. The bread deserves special mention. It's made using traditional Earth Kingdom techniques that have been refined over centuries. The flour is ground from hardy grains that grow well in the mountain's lower elevations, and the baking process uses stone ovens that maintain perfect heat through earthbending control. The result is bread with a crusty exterior and a soft, flavorful interior that's perfect for soaking up the stew. Conversation during the meal ranges from serious discussions about earthbending philosophy to light-hearted stories about daily life in the mountain. The students share news from their home villages, discuss their plans for advanced training, and debate the finer points of earthbending technique. The atmosphere is relaxed and supportive, with laughter mixing easily with more serious conversations. As the meal progresses, the formal structure of the seating arrangement begins to dissolve. Students move between tables to continue conversations, masters stop by to answer questions or share stories, and the entire hall takes on the feeling of an extended family gathering. This sense of community is one of the great strengths of earthbending culture, the understanding that individual mastery is enhanced by collective support and shared wisdom. The evening meal concludes gradually, without any formal signal. Some students linger over their food, savoring the flavors and the conversation. Others, eager to continue their studies or get extra practice time, finish quickly and head to the training chambers or library. The masters often remain in the hall longest, using the time after the meal to discuss the day's lessons and plan for tomorrow's instruction. As you finish your own meal, you feel the deep satisfaction that comes from good food shared with good companions. The physical nourishment will fuel your body for tomorrow's training, but the social nourishment, the sense of belonging to a community of dedicated practitioners, feeds something equally important. In the Earth Kingdom, strength comes not just from individual mastery, but from the bonds that connect Earthbenders to each other and to the ancient traditions they're working to preserve and extend. The gentle sounds of conversation and the clinking of stone bowls create a peaceful backdrop as you prepare to leave the hall. Tomorrow will bring new challenges and new opportunities for growth, but tonight you're content to be part of this community of Earthbenders, all working together toward mastery of their art and themselves. Segment 3. A Quiet Adventure. The morning meditation session has ended, and you're helping organize the training equipment when you first hear it. A sound so faint you almost dismiss it as wind through the caverns, but there's something different about this whisper of melody. You pause, pressing your palm against the cool stone wall, and feel it through your earth-bending senses, a gentle humming that seems to emanate from deep within the mountain itself. The sound is unlike anything you've encountered before. It's not the grinding of stone against stone, nor the echo of water dripping in distant chambers. This is something alive, something that pulses with the rhythm of the earth's own heartbeat. You close your eyes and extend your earth-bending awareness, following the vibrations through the stone network that connects every chamber and tunnel in the monastery. Master Feng notices your stillness and approaches with that knowing smile he wears when a student discovers something new. His weathered hands, scarred from decades of earth-bending practice, rest gently on your shoulder as he observes your concentrated expression. You hear it too, he says, not as a question but as a statement of recognition. The crystal song has found you, just as it found him decades ago when he was still learning the deeper mysteries of earth-bending. He tells you that not every earthbender can perceive the crystal song. It requires a certain sensitivity to the earth's subtle energies, a willingness to listen rather than command. Some students spend years in the monastery without ever hearing it, while others, like yourself, discover it naturally during their training. The song is the Earth's way of testing potential students, determining who is ready to learn the deeper mysteries of the art. The melody grows stronger as you follow it, leading you away from the familiar training chambers and into corridors you've never explored. These passages are older, carved by earthbenders generations past, and the walls here shimmer with veins of crystal that catch and reflect the torchlight in dancing patterns. The architecture is different too, more organic, flowing like water frozen in stone, shaped by masters who understood that earthbending was as much about beauty as it was about strength. Master Feng carries a special torch that burns with a blue flame, its light revealing details in the crystal veins that ordinary fire cannot illuminate. The crystals respond to his presence, their inner light brightening as he passes, creating a pathway of illumination that guides you deeper into the mountain. You realize that this is more than mere phosphorescence. The crystals are recognizing a master earthbender and responding to his spiritual energy. The humming grows more complex as you descend, revealing harmonies within harmonies, like a choir of stones singing in perfect unity. You begin to distinguish individual voices in the chorus, some high and clear like wind chimes, others deep and resonant like the bass notes of a massive organ. Each crystal formation contributes its own unique tone to the symphony, creating a musical landscape that tells the story of the Earth's formation over millions of years. Your footsteps echo differently here. The stone beneath your feet resonates with each step, adding percussion to the crystal's melody. You realize you're not just walking through these tunnels, you're becoming part of their song. Every earthbender who has walked this path has left their own vibration in the stone, and now yours joins the eternal chorus. The sensation is both humbling and exhilarating, like adding your voice to a song that has been sung for centuries. The tunnel walls become more elaborate as you venture deeper, carved with flowing patterns that seem to dance in the torchlight. These are not mere decorations but functional elements of the earthbending architecture, channels that direct and amplify the crystal song throughout the mountain. You run your fingers along these carved channels and feel the music flowing through them like water through a riverbed. Master Feng pauses at a junction where several passages converge, each one humming with its own variation of the crystal song. He explains that these tunnels form a vast network throughout the mountain, connecting different crystal formations and allowing their songs to harmonize across great distances. The entire mountain is essentially a massive musical instrument, played by the earth itself and conducted by the collective consciousness of all the crystals within it. The crystals grow larger as you venture deeper, their formations becoming more elaborate and beautiful. What started as thin veins in the walls has become clusters of clear, singing stone that pulse with soft light. Some crystals are perfectly geometric, their faceted surfaces creating prisms that break the torchlight into rainbow spectrums. Others are more organic, growing in twisted spirals or branching patterns that resemble frozen trees or coral reefs. The humming is no longer mysterious but welcoming, like the earth itself is greeting you as a cherished guest in its deepest chambers. You feel drawn to touch one of the larger crystals, and when you do, the connection is immediate and profound. The crystal's song enters your body through your fingertips, harmonizing with your own earthbending energy and teaching you its ancient melody. Master Feng explains that these crystals form over thousands of years, shaped by the collective earthbending of countless generations. Each crystal holds the memory of every earthbender who has meditated in these chambers, their techniques and wisdom preserved in living stone. The song you hear is the accumulated knowledge of your predecessors, sharing their understanding through vibrations that speak directly to your earthbending spirit. You place your hand on one of the larger crystals and feel the connection immediately. Through the stone, you sense the presence of earthbenders from centuries past, their struggles, their triumphs, their quiet moments of discovery just like this one. The crystal hums with their collective wisdom, offering guidance without words, teaching through pure sensation and understanding. The experience is overwhelming at first. Centuries of accumulated knowledge flow through you in a torrent of sensation and emotion. You feel the dedication of masters who spent decades perfecting their craft, the excitement of students making their first breakthrough, the peaceful contentment of elderly earthbenders passing on their wisdom to the next generation. Each emotion is accompanied by its own musical note, creating a complex symphony of human experience preserved in crystal form. As you spend time in this crystal chamber, you begin to understand that earthbending is not just about moving stone and soil. It's about listening to the earth's own voice, learning to harmonize with the planet's natural rhythms. The crystals sing because they're alive with the earth's energy, and that same energy flows through you, connecting you to every grain of sand and every towering mountain. The meditation that follows is unlike any you've experienced. Surrounded by the crystal song, you feel your earthbending abilities expanding not through force or technique, but through understanding. The earth reveals its secrets willingly to those who listen with respect and patience. You're no longer just manipulating stone, you're participating in an ancient conversation between earthbender and earth. The crystals begin to teach you through their song, showing you earthbending techniques that were developed by masters centuries ago. You see in your mind's eye how to shape stone with minimal effort, how to sense the structural integrity of rock formations, how to find the natural stress points that allow massive boulders to be moved with a gentle touch. Each lesson is accompanied by the crystal's music, creating a learning experience that engages all your senses. Time seems to slow in the crystal chamber. Minutes stretch into hours as you absorb the wisdom contained in the singing stones. You learn that each crystal has its own personality and preferences, some responding better to gentle coaxing while others require firm direction. The art of crystal singing, using your earthbending to make the stones resonate with specific tones, becomes your first lesson in the deeper mysteries of the art. As the session concludes, you realize that you've been forever changed by this encounter. The crystal song has awakened something in your earthbending spirit, a sensitivity to the earth's subtle energies that will guide you for the rest of your life. You understand now that true mastery comes not from dominating the earth, but from joining your voice to its eternal song. Master Feng leads you from the crystal chamber through passages that seem to descend into the very heart of the mountain. The transition is gradual but noticeable. The human-carved tunnels give way to something more organic, more ancient. These tunnels are different from the ones carved by human hands. They're smooth and rounded, shaped by creatures that move through solid stone as easily as fish swim through water. The walls here tell a story of the Earth's first benders, the badgermoles who learned to manipulate stone millions of years before humans ever discovered the art. The torch flame flickers differently in these passages, the air currents following patterns that seem to spiral downward in great helical flows. Master Feng explains that these air patterns were created by the badgermole's earthbending, their movements through stone creating pressure differentials that persist long after the creatures have passed. The very atmosphere here bears the signature of their ancient mastery. The journey becomes a walking meditation as you follow these ancient pathways. Your earthbending senses are heightened in this environment, detecting subtle changes in the stone's composition and density. The rock here is older than anything you've encountered, compressed by eons of geological pressure into formations that seem to pulse with their own life force. Each step takes you deeper into the Earth's memory, where the boundaries between living and mineral begin to blur. You notice that your earthbending abilities respond differently in these tunnels. The stone here is more cooperative, more willing to reshape itself at your touch. Master Feng demonstrates this by running his hand along the wall, and you watch in amazement as the rock flows like thick honey, creating handholds and footholds that make the descent easier. The stone remembers the touch of the badgermoles, he explains, and it recognizes earthbenders as kindred spirits. The tunnel walls are decorated with natural formations that look almost like artwork. Mineral deposits create flowing patterns that resemble frozen waterfalls, while crystalline structures form geometric designs that seem too perfect to be accidental. Some formations look like flowers or trees, others like abstract sculptures that challenge your understanding of what stone can become. You begin to understand that these formations are not random, they're the result of badgermole earthbending, creatures whose mastery is so complete they reshape stone through their very presence. The colors in the stone change as you descend, shifting from the familiar grays and browns of surface rock to deeper hues, rich purples and blues that speak of rare minerals and extreme pressures. Some sections of the tunnel walls gleam with metallic veins, threads of silver and gold that the badgermoles have woven through the stone like embroidery. These metal inclusions create their own subtle music, adding a tinkling counterpoint to the deeper stone songs. As you walk, Master Feng shares stories of the first earthbenders, humans who learned by watching and eventually communicating with these ancient masters. The badgermoles didn't teach through words or demonstrations, but through shared experience, allowing curious humans to feel the Earth's movements through their own bodies. This is why earthbending has always been as much about sensing as it is about manipulating. The art was learned through empathy and connection rather than mere observation. The first human earthbenders were mostly farmers and miners, people who spent their lives working with stone and soil. They noticed that certain areas of their land seemed to respond to their touch, that rocks would shift position overnight, that new springs would appear after they had wished for water. It was only when they began to meditate in the places where badgermoles had been active that they realized these creatures were the source of the Earth's unusual behavior. The learning process was gradual and required tremendous patience. The badgermoles communicate through earth-bending vibrations, sending complex messages through the stone that early humans could barely detect, let alone understand. It took generations of careful observation and practice before the first human earthbenders could engage in meaningful conversation with their teachers. Even now, Master Feng admits, human earthbending is still crude compared to the effortless mastery of the badgermoles. The sound of flowing water grows stronger as you descend, and you discover underground streams that have carved beautiful patterns in the rock over countless years. These waterways follow paths that seem to complement the badgermole tunnels, creating a network of natural passages that demonstrates the Earth's own intelligence. Water and stone work together here, shaping each other in an eternal dance of creation and erosion. The streams are crystal clear, their mineral content creating subtle colors that shift as they flow. You cup some of the water in your hands and taste the essence of the deep earth, slightly metallic but pure, carrying the flavor of stone and time. This water has never seen sunlight, yet it sustains entire ecosystems in the depths, supporting creatures that exist nowhere else on the planet. Master Feng points out small fish swimming in the streams, their bodies translucent and their eyes enlarged to capture the faintest traces of light. These creatures have evolved in perfect harmony with the underground environment, their entire life cycle adapted to the rhythms of stone and water. Some of them seem to respond to earth-bending vibrations, gathering in schools when you touch the stream bed with your earth-bending senses. The ecosystem extends beyond the streams. You notice small plants growing in crevices where mineral-rich water seeps through the stone, their roots extending deep into the rock to extract nutrients. These plants glow with a faint bioluminescence, creating patches of green and blue light that illuminate the tunnel walls. The badgermoles, Master Feng explains, cultivate these gardens, using their earthbending to create perfect growing conditions for the unique flora of the depths. The tunnel walls begin to show signs of purposeful carving, symbols and patterns that were clearly made by earthbenders, though they're far older than any writing you recognize. These aren't words but expressions of earthbending philosophy, carved by generations of students who made this same journey to the badgermole sanctuary. Each symbol represents a different aspect of earthbending mastery, from the basic stance forms to complex philosophical concepts about the relationship between bender and earth. Master Feng stops at one particular carving, a spiral pattern that seems to draw your eye inward toward its center. He explains that this represents the earthbender's journey, starting from the outside with basic techniques and gradually spiraling inward toward deeper understanding. The outer rings show the physical aspects of earthbending, while the inner spirals represent the spiritual and philosophical dimensions that can only be learned through direct experience. You trace the spiral with your finger, feeling the subtle vibrations left by the earthbender who carved it. Through the stone, you sense their dedication and patience, their years of practice and study that led to this moment of understanding. The carving is not just a symbol but a teaching tool, conveying wisdom through touch and earthbending sensitivity rather than words. Other carvings show the progression of earthbending techniques, from simple stone lifting to complex architectural applications. You see depictions of earthbenders building entire cities from living rock, creating structures that grow and change with the Earth's natural movements. These images inspire and humble you, showing the potential heights of mastery while reminding you how much you still have to learn. The air grows warmer as you continue deeper, and you realize you're approaching something significant. The stone around you begins to hum with a different quality of energy, not the crystalline song from earlier, but something deeper and more primal. This is the heartbeat of the Earth itself, the fundamental rhythm that drives all geological processes and gives birth to mountains and valleys. Your earthbending abilities respond to this environment, becoming more sensitive and refined. You can feel the presence of metal veins in the surrounding rock, sense the movement of underground water systems, and detect the subtle stress patterns that indicate the mountain's structural integrity. This heightened awareness is not something you're forcing. It's a natural response to being in the presence of the Earth's most ancient masters. The tunnel opens into a vast natural chamber, its ceiling lost in darkness high above. The walls curve away into shadows, suggesting a space so large it could contain entire buildings. This is the antechamber to the badgermole sanctuary, a place where the Earth's first benders have gathered for countless generations. The air here carries the scent of deep stone and ancient wisdom, promising encounters that will change your understanding of earthbending forever. Phosphorescent minerals in the walls create a dim, ethereal light that reveals the chamber's true scale. The space is cathedral-like in its grandeur, with natural columns and arches that frame views of deeper passages leading into the mountain's heart. The acoustics are perfect, every sound echoing with crystal clarity, as if the chamber itself has been tuned to enhance the earth-bending vibrations that flow through it. You stand at the threshold of the sanctuary, feeling the weight of centuries pressing down on you. This is where human earthbending began, where the first tentative conversations between species took place, where the art that defines your life was born from patience, respect, and the willingness to learn from those who came before. The journey has prepared you for what lies ahead, but nothing can truly prepare you for the wisdom of the badgermoles. The sanctuary chamber is vast beyond comprehension, its walls stretching away into darkness that seems to pulse with its own life. As your eyes adjust to the dim phosphorescent glow, you begin to make out massive shapes moving through the shadows, not walking on the ground but flowing through the solid stone walls as if they were made of water. These are the badgermoles, the original earthbenders, and witnessing their mastery fills you with awe and humility. The sight is mesmerizing and surreal. Where you expected to see creatures moving across the chamber floor, you instead observe them phasing through solid rock with fluid grace. A badgermole emerges from the wall directly in front of you, its massive form materializing from stone like a ship emerging from fog. The creature's blind eyes, evolved for life in absolute darkness, seem to look directly through you, seeing not with sight but with earth-bending senses that make your own abilities seem primitive by comparison. The first badgermole you encounter is ancient beyond measure, its fur silver-white with age and its body scarred by countless centuries of moving through stone. Despite its size, easily twice your height and many times your weight, it moves with surprising gentleness, its massive claws extending and retracting with careful precision. Each movement it makes sends subtle vibrations through the stone floor, creating a complex pattern of communication that you're only beginning to understand. The creature's presence is overwhelming, not in an intimidating way but in the sense of encountering something so fundamentally different from human experience that your mind struggles to process it. This badgermole has lived for centuries, possibly millennia, watching the rise and fall of human civilizations while remaining constant in its deep communion with the earth. Its earthbending abilities are so integrated with its being that it doesn't manipulate stone so much as exist in harmony with it. Master Feng approaches the ancient badgermole with deep respect, his movements slow and deliberate. He places his hands on the ground in a gesture of greeting that you instinctively understand is more than mere politeness. Through the stone, he's announcing his presence and intentions, sharing his earthbending signature with the creature in a form of communication that transcends words. The gesture is ritualistic, refined over generations of human badgermole interaction. The badgermole responds with a low rumble that you feel through your feet long before you hear it with your ears. The sound is incredibly complex, layered with harmonics and overtones that carry detailed information about the sanctuary's current state, the creature's assessment of your worthiness, and its acceptance of your presence. The rumble travels through the stone network of the chamber, awakening responses from other badgermoles deeper in the sanctuary. You follow Master Feng's example, placing your palms on the stone floor and opening your earthbending senses to their fullest extent. The sensation is immediately overwhelming. You're suddenly aware of every badgermole in the chamber, their movements through stone creating a complex network of vibrations that tells the story of their daily activities. Some are hunting for the rare mineral deposits they consume, others are caring for their young, and still others are engaged in what can only be described as earthbending meditation. The earthbending sensitivity required to communicate with badgermoles is far beyond what you've experienced in your training. These creatures operate on frequencies of stone manipulation that humans rarely achieve, their earthbending so subtle and sophisticated that it resembles telepathy more than the physical techniques you've learned. Through the stone, you sense their conversations, their debates about earthbending philosophy, their shared memories of the Earth's geological history. The ancient badgermole approaches you with the patience of a creature that has learned to measure time in geological epochs rather than human lifespans. Its claws, each longer than your forearm, extend toward you with careful precision. When it touches your chest, you feel a connection form that goes far deeper than physical contact. Through earthbending, the creature is reading your intentions, your skill level, your potential for growth, and most importantly, your respect for the earth and its ancient inhabitants. The examination is thorough but not invasive, like a master craftsman evaluating a promising apprentice. The badgermole's earthbending flows through your body, assessing your meridians, your energy pathways, and the quality of your connection to the earth. It's testing not just your technique but your character, determining whether you possess the humility and patience necessary to learn from beings whose mastery spans millennia. The process is simultaneously terrifying and exhilarating. You feel exposed, every aspect of your earthbending training laid bare before this ancient intelligence. But there's no judgment in the creature's assessment, only a deep, patient wisdom that seeks to understand your place in the greater tapestry of earthbending tradition. The badgermole is not testing you to find you wanting but to determine how best to teach you. The badgermole's approval comes as a warm vibration through the stone, a rumbling purr that seems to emanate from the earth itself. The sound triggers a response from the other badgermoles in the chamber, and suddenly you're surrounded by them. They emerge from the walls and floor with fluid movements that defy everything you thought you knew about earthbending. These creatures don't manipulate stone, they exist in harmony with it, their earthbending so integrated with their being that there's no distinction between the bender and the element. The gathering of badgermoles is a rare honor, Master Feng explains in whispered tones. These creatures are solitary by nature, coming together only for the most significant events. Your presence here, your successful communication with the Ancient One, has marked you as worthy of their collective attention. This is a moment that will define your earthbending journey for years to come. Each badgermole in the gathering has its own unique earthbending signature, its own approach to stone manipulation that reflects centuries of individual development. Some specialize in the finest detail work, capable of carving intricate patterns in the hardest granite. Others are masters of large-scale earthbending, able to reshape entire caverns with subtle adjustments to geological pressure. Still others have developed earthbending techniques that border on the mystical, using stone to channel and focus spiritual energy. Communication with the badgermoles requires abandoning everything you know about language and conversation. Instead, you learn to share experiences directly through earthbending vibrations. When you place your hands on the stone and focus on a memory of your training, the badgermoles respond by sharing their own experiences. Sensations of moving through solid rock, the taste of rare minerals, the satisfaction of carving new passages through the mountain's heart. The exchange is overwhelming at first. The badgermole's memories span geological time, their experiences including the formation of the mountain itself, the slow drift of continents, the rise and fall of ice ages. Through their earthbending, they share moments of perfect harmony with the earth, times when their consciousness merged so completely with stone that they became living extensions of the planet's will. One particularly patient badgermole, smaller than the Ancient One but still massive by human standards, approaches to become your primary teacher. Its earthbending signature is gentler, more attuned to the learning process, and you sense that it has guided other humans through the same experience. The creature's patience is infinite, its teaching methods adapted to the limitations of human consciousness and the brief span of human life. The first lesson begins immediately. Instead of teaching you new techniques, the badgermole shows you how to feel the Earth's natural state before you attempt to change it. This is fundamental to their approach, understanding that every stone has its own personality, its own preferred way of moving and reshaping. By learning to sense these preferences, you can work with the Earth rather than against it, achieving results that seem impossible through traditional methods. The badgermole guides you through a meditation that connects you directly to the stone beneath your feet. You feel the rock's crystalline structure, sense the forces that hold it together, understand the stresses and strains that determine how it will respond to earthbending. This level of sensitivity is far beyond what you've achieved in your training, requiring a complete surrender of your preconceptions about how earthbending should work. The lesson continues as the badgermole demonstrates how to merge your earthbending with the stone itself. Rather than imposing your will on the earth, you learn to become one with it, your consciousness extending into the mineral matrix until you're seeing the world from the stone's perspective. From this viewpoint, earthbending becomes as natural as breathing, a simple matter of guiding the earth's own desire to move and change. The technique is called stone singing in the ancient badgermole tradition, though the name is a rough human translation of a concept that doesn't really exist in human language. It involves harmonizing your earthbending frequency with the natural vibrations of the stone, creating a resonance that allows you to reshape matter with minimal effort. The badgermole's demonstration is breathtaking. It causes an entire section of the chamber wall to flow like liquid, creating new passages and alcoves with nothing more than gentle touches. Hours pass in this meditative state, though time seems irrelevant in the depths of the sanctuary. You practice moving through stone the way the badgermoles do, not by forcing passages but by convincing the rock to part willingly. Your first attempts are clumsy and incomplete, but the badgermoles are patient teachers, correcting your technique through gentle earthbending suggestions rather than criticism. The breakthrough comes when you finally achieve partial phasing, managing to insert your hand into solid stone without causing any structural damage. The sensation is indescribable. You feel the crystalline matrix around your fingers, sense the chemical bonds that hold the minerals together, and understand the forces that give stone its strength and permanence. For a brief moment, you're not separate from the earth but part of its vast, patient consciousness. The badgermoles respond to your success with a chorus of approving rumbles that shake the entire chamber. This is a significant achievement, one that marks your transition from student to initiate in the deeper mysteries of earthbending. The ancient badgermole approaches once more, its earthbending signature now warm with approval and something that might be called pride. As the lesson concludes, you realize that everything you thought you knew about earthbending was merely the surface of a much deeper art. The badgermoles have shown you that true mastery comes not from conquering the earth, but from understanding it so completely that you become its willing partner in the eternal dance of creation and change. This knowledge will take years to fully integrate, but the foundation has been laid in your mind and spirit. The teaching session ends with a ceremony that formally recognizes your new status as a student of the badgermoles. Each creature in the gathering touches you with their earthbending, leaving a permanent mark on your energy signature that will identify you to other badgermoles throughout the Earth Kingdom. This mark is both a privilege and a responsibility. It means you can always seek guidance from these ancient masters, but it also means you're now accountable to their teachings. The ancient badgermole that first greeted you approaches once more, this time offering a gift that will connect you to the sanctuary forever. It breathes on a small crystal, infusing it with its own earth-bending essence, and presents it to you with ceremonial gravity. This crystal will allow you to sense the badgermole's presence anywhere in the Earth Kingdom, a reminder that you're now part of their extended family and can always find guidance in their ancient wisdom. Master Feng leads you to a circular chamber at the very heart of the sanctuary, where the walls are covered in earth-bending symbols that seem to glow with their own inner light. The chamber is smaller than the vast spaces you've traversed, but its intimate scale only serves to concentrate the spiritual energy that flows through it. At the center of the room sits a massive stone that pulses with a heartbeat rhythm. This is the Heartstone, the spiritual center of all earthbending in the kingdom. The Heartstone is unlike any rock formation you've ever encountered. It's perfectly spherical, about the height of a person, and its surface is so smooth it seems to have been polished by countless hands over thousands of years. The stone is deep black, but as you approach, you notice it's not truly black at all. It contains every color, every shade of earth and mineral that exists in the world, all somehow contained within its dark surface. The stone pulses with a rhythm that matches your heartbeat, then gradually slows or quickens to guide your breathing into a meditative state. This is not a passive piece of mineral but an active participant in the ceremony, a living repository of earth-bending wisdom that responds to the presence of those who approach it with proper reverence. The stone's surface seems to ripple like water when you're not looking directly at it, creating an impression of depth and movement that suggests vast spaces hidden within. Master Feng explains that the heart stone is the most sacred artifact in the earthbending world, formed not by geological processes but by the collective will of countless earthbenders over millennia. Every master who has ever achieved true understanding has contributed a portion of their earthbending essence to the stone, creating a repository of knowledge and experience that transcends individual understanding. The stone contains the wisdom of the first human earthbenders, the techniques of legendary masters, and the spiritual insights of those who have achieved perfect harmony with the earth. The ceremony begins with you joining a circle of other earthbenders who have made the same journey to the sanctuary. The group is diverse. Some are young like yourself, their earthbending still developing, while others are masters with decades of experience, their weathered hands and calm demeanor speaking of countless hours spent in communion with stone and soil. But in this sacred space, all are equal participants in the ancient ritual, united by their shared commitment to the earthbending path. The presence of the other earthbenders creates a powerful energy field around the heartstone. Each person's earthbending signature contributes to the collective resonance, creating harmonics and overtones that seem to awaken the stone's deeper properties. You feel your own earthbending abilities responding to this group dynamic, becoming more sensitive and refined as they synchronize with the others' energy patterns. The diversity of ages and skill levels creates a powerful dynamic, with each participant contributing their unique perspective to the collective earthbending energy. The younger earthbenders bring enthusiasm and fresh perspectives, while the masters contribute depth and wisdom. The master's earthbending has the quality of aged stone, solid, reliable, and deeply connected to the earth's fundamental rhythms. The student's energy is more like flowing water over rock, adaptive, eager, and full of potential. The badgermoles arrange themselves around the outer edge of the chamber, their presence adding depth and authority to the proceedings. They don't participate directly in a human ceremony, but their earthbending creates a foundation of stability and wisdom that supports the entire ritual. Through the stone, you can feel their ancient consciousness observing and approving, their millennia of experience lending weight to this moment of connection. The badgermole's earthbending operates on frequencies that humans can barely perceive, but their presence creates a stabilizing influence that allows the ceremony to proceed safely. Working with the heart stone requires tremendous spiritual discipline, as the stone's power can overwhelm unprepared minds. The badgermoles serve as guardians, ready to intervene if any participant becomes lost in the stone's vast consciousness. Master Feng begins the ceremony by placing his hands on the heartstone and sharing his earthbending signature with the assembled group. Through the stone, his experiences flow to each participant. Decades of training, moments of breakthrough, the patient accumulation of wisdom that comes from a lifetime dedicated to earthbending mastery. His signature is like a river of knowledge, flowing through the stone and touching each person in the circle. The stone serves as a conduit for this sharing, amplifying and purifying the earthbending energy before distributing it to the participants. As Master Feng's experiences flow through you, you feel the weight of his dedication, the quiet satisfaction of his achievements, and the deep love for the earth that has sustained him through years of practice. This is what mastery looks like, not dramatic displays of power but a profound understanding of the earth's nature. Other masters in the circle begin to share their signatures as well, creating a complex web of interconnected experiences. Each master's earthbending has its own flavor and character, reflecting their individual journey and the particular aspects of earthbending they've chosen to explore. Some are architects, their earthbending shaped by years of building and construction. Others are healers, their techniques focused on restoring balance to damaged earth. Still others are scholars, their earthbending informed by deep study of geological processes and mineral properties. Master Feng explains that the heartstone contains the earthbending essence of every master who has ever participated in this ceremony. When you place your hands on its surface, you'll join your own energy to this collective consciousness, becoming part of a spiritual lineage that stretches back to the very first earthbenders. The stone serves as a repository of knowledge and experience, preserving the wisdom of the past while nurturing the potential of the future. The anticipation builds as you approach the heartstone. The closer you get, the more intense its pulse becomes, until you can feel it resonating in your bones. The stone seems to recognize your presence, warming under your touch and beginning to resonate with your personal earthbending frequency. The sensation is similar to the crystal song you heard earlier, but deeper and more complex, like a symphony of stone voices welcoming you into their eternal chorus. As you prepare to place your hands on the Heartstone, you feel the weight of the moment. This is not just a ceremony but a transformation, a passage from one stage of your earthbending journey to another. The stone will read your potential, judge your worthiness, and if you're found ready, it will share its accumulated wisdom with you. The process is irreversible. Once you've touched the Heartstone, you'll be forever changed by the experience. Placing your hands on the Heartstone is a transformative experience that defies description. The moment your palms make contact with its smooth surface, you feel the presence of countless earthbenders, their hopes, fears, triumphs, and failures flowing through you in a river of shared experience. The sensation is overwhelming, like diving into an ocean of consciousness where every drop contains the lifetime of a different earthbender. You sense the first earthbender who learned from the badgermoles, feeling their wonder and determination as they struggled to understand the mysteries of stone manipulation. Their earthbending was crude by modern standards, but their dedication was absolute, their willingness to learn from creatures so different from themselves marking them as the first true human earthbender. Through the stone, you experience their breakthrough moment, the first time they successfully moved rock through will alone. The energy flowing through the Heartstone is not just historical but prophetic, showing you glimpses of earthbending's future development. You see techniques that haven't been invented yet, applications of earthbending that will serve future generations, and the continuing evolution of the art as new earthbenders add their own innovations to the accumulated wisdom. Your own future contributions to this legacy flash before your consciousness, showing you the potential impact of your dedicated practice. The visions are fragmentary but profound. You see yourself years in the future, your earthbending mastery fully developed, teaching students of your own. You see the techniques you'll develop, the problems you'll solve, the ways you'll contribute to the earthbending tradition. These glimpses of the future are not fixed prophecies but potential paths, showing you what you might achieve if you dedicate yourself fully to the earthbending way. The ceremony deepens as you synchronize your earthbending with the other participants. Together, you create a resonance that amplifies everyone's abilities, demonstrating the power of collective earthbending that exceeds the sum of individual talents. The Heartstone responds to this unified energy by revealing deeper layers of its stored wisdom, sharing advanced techniques and philosophical insights that can only be accessed through group meditation. The sensation of collective earthbending is unlike anything you've experienced in your individual training. Where your personal earthbending feels like a single voice, this group resonance is like a full orchestra, each participant contributing their unique tone to create something greater than any of them could achieve alone. The Heartstone serves as a conductor for this earthbending symphony, guiding the energy flows and ensuring that everyone remains in harmony. Through the stone, you feel the presence of earthbenders throughout the kingdom, those practicing in distant cities, masters teaching in remote villages, and students taking their first tentative steps into the art. The Heartstone connects all earthbenders across space and time, creating a network of consciousness that ensures the art's continuity and growth. Your own earthbending signature joins this network, making you a permanent part of the earthbending community. The connection extends beyond the present moment, linking you to earthbenders from centuries past and those yet to be born. You feel the weight of tradition and the promise of future innovation, understanding that you're part of an unbroken chain of knowledge and practice that stretches from the first human earthbenders to the last. This realization brings both humility and responsibility. You're not just learning earthbending for yourself, but carrying forward a legacy that belongs to all humanity. The climax of the ceremony comes when you feel the Earth's own consciousness touch your mind through the Heartstone. This is not the awareness of individual stones or mountains, but the planetary intelligence that guides geological processes and shapes continents over millions of years. The Earth recognizes you as one of its chosen partners, granting you the responsibility and privilege of channeling its vast power through your earthbending practice. The contact with the Earth's consciousness is overwhelming in its scope and depth. You feel the planet's patient endurance, its willingness to support life despite the countless changes and challenges it faces. You sense the Earth's joy in the partnership with earthbenders, its satisfaction in having conscious beings who can help guide its development and protect its integrity. This is the true source of earthbending power, not the manipulation of stone but the collaboration with the planet itself. The Earth shares its memories with you through the Heartstone, the formation of the first mountains, the slow drift of continents, the cycles of ice and warmth that have shaped the planet's surface. You experience geological time, understanding how processes that seem permanent to human perception are actually fluid and dynamic from the Earth's perspective. This knowledge transforms your understanding of earthbending, showing you that even the most solid stone is actually in constant motion. As the ceremony concludes, you understand that you've undergone a fundamental transformation. You're no longer just someone who can manipulate earth and stone. You're now a guardian of the earth's wisdom, responsible for preserving and sharing the knowledge contained in the Heartstone. This responsibility is both humbling and empowering, connecting you to a purpose greater than personal advancement or individual achievement. The transformation affects your earthbending at the most fundamental level. Your connection to stone and soil is now deeper and more intuitive, guided by the accumulated wisdom of countless masters and the Earth's own consciousness. You can sense the health of the land around you, feel the stress patterns in rock formations, and understand the subtle signs that indicate geological instability. This sensitivity will make you not just a more skilled earthbender, but a better guardian of the Earth's well-being. The final moments of the ceremony involve committing your earthbending development to the service of balance and harmony. You pledge to use your abilities not for personal gain, but for the protection and nurturing of the Earth and its inhabitants. This commitment is sealed by the Heartstone, which records your oath and will hold you accountable to its terms throughout your earthbending career. The oath is more than words. It's a binding contract with the Earth itself, enforced by the combined will of all the earthbenders who have touched the Heartstone before you. Breaking this oath would not only cut you off from the stone's wisdom but also from the earthbending community itself. The responsibility is serious, but so is the power and knowledge that comes with it. As you remove your hands from the Heartstone, you feel the ceremony's effects settling into your consciousness. The flood of knowledge and experience becomes more manageable, organizing itself into useful categories and techniques that you can access when needed. The stone's wisdom hasn't made you instantly masterful, but it has given you the tools and understanding necessary to achieve true mastery through dedicated practice. The other ceremony participants welcome you into their circle with warm smiles and respectful nods. You're now part of an elite group of earthbenders who have experienced the Heartstone's wisdom and sworn to serve the Earth's interests. This fellowship will provide support and guidance throughout your earthbending journey, connecting you to resources and knowledge that few earthbenders ever access. In the profound silence that follows the ceremony, you find yourself alone with the Heartstone, its surface still warm from the collective energy of the participants. Master Feng and the other earthbenders have withdrawn to give you space for the personal revelation that traditionally follows the ritual. The chamber feels different now, more intimate, more focused, as if the stone itself has adjusted its energy to match your individual needs. The badgermoles continue their patient presence, their earthbending creating a protective barrier around your meditation while allowing you the privacy needed for this crucial moment of self-discovery. Their ancient wisdom provides a stable foundation for your contemplation, their earthbending signatures weaving a complex pattern of support and encouragement around the chamber. You feel their approval of your progress, their recognition that you've achieved something significant in touching the Heartstone. The vision begins gradually, like dawn breaking over a mountain landscape. The Heartstone surface seems to become transparent, revealing depths that stretch far beyond the physical boundaries of the chamber. Through the stone's connection to the Earth's consciousness, you see the vast network of relationships that connect all living things to the planet itself. Mountains provide stability and minerals, rivers carry life-giving water, and soil nurtures the plants that feed entire ecosystems. The vision expands to show you the Earth Kingdom in its entirety, not just the political boundaries but the geological and ecological systems that define the region. You see the flow of underground rivers, the stress patterns in mountain ranges, the slow movement of tectonic plates that shapes the landscape over millions of years. This is the true Earth Kingdom, the complex web of natural processes that supports all life within its borders. Your role as an earthbender becomes clear as the vision continues. You're not separate from this network but an integral part of its functioning, a conscious agent capable of understanding and influencing the Earth's natural processes. The Earth shows you scenes of earthbenders throughout history fulfilling their purpose as guardians and nurturers, their work often invisible to the general population but essential to the kingdom's stability and prosperity. You see masters building terraces that prevent erosion and increase agricultural productivity, their earthbending creating sustainable farming systems that support entire communities. You witness earthbenders redirecting dangerous landslides away from populated areas, their quick thinking and skilled manipulation saving countless lives. You observe practitioners using their abilities to locate underground water sources during droughts, their sensitivity to Earth's rhythms providing relief when it's needed most. Each scene demonstrates that earthbending's true power lies not in destruction but in protection and creation. The most skilled earthbenders are those who work behind the scenes, maintaining the delicate balance between human needs and natural processes. Their work requires not just technical skill but deep understanding of ecological systems and the wisdom to know when intervention is helpful and when it's harmful. Your specific purpose within this grand design begins to crystallize as the vision continues. The Heartstone shows you that your earthbending abilities are particularly suited to sensing and addressing imbalances in the Earth's natural systems. You possess an intuitive understanding of geological processes that allows you to detect problems before they become catastrophic, a sensitivity that's rare even among skilled earthbenders. The vision reveals specific scenarios where your unique abilities will be crucial. You see yourself identifying unstable rock formations that threaten to collapse, using your earthbending to gradually redistribute stress and prevent disasters. You witness moments where your sensitivity to underground water systems allows you to predict and prevent floods, redirecting excess water through carefully crafted channels. You observe yourself restoring damaged ecosystems, using earthbending to create the precise conditions needed for plant and animal life to flourish. This gift of environmental sensitivity comes with the responsibility to act as an early warning system, using your earthbending to prevent disasters rather than simply responding to them after they occur. The Earth Kingdom needs earthbenders who can think in geological time, who can sense the slow accumulation of stress and instability before it reaches critical levels. Your training has prepared you for this role, but the Heartstone's wisdom has awakened your full potential. The vision shows you the deep satisfaction that comes from working in harmony with the Earth's natural rhythms. You feel the planet's gratitude when damaged areas are restored, its relief when dangerous instabilities are corrected, and its joy when new growth springs from previously barren ground. This emotional connection to the Earth itself becomes the driving force behind your earthbending practice, transforming technique into devotion. Through the Heartstone, you experience the Earth's perspective on the partnership between planet and earthbender. The Earth doesn't see earthbending as domination but as collaboration, a way for the planet to work through conscious beings to maintain its own health and balance. This realization fundamentally changes your understanding of your role. You're not mastering the Earth but serving it, lending your consciousness and will to its vast intelligence. The vision expands to show you the broader implications of your purpose. As an earthbender committed to healing and protection, you'll inspire others to consider their own relationship with the environment. Your example will encourage fellow earthbenders to see their abilities as tools for stewardship rather than domination, gradually shifting the entire culture toward more sustainable and harmonious practices. You see yourself teaching future generations of earthbenders, passing on not just techniques but the philosophical understanding that the Earth is a living partner rather than a resource to be exploited. Your students will carry this wisdom forward, creating a lineage of environmentally conscious earthbenders who prioritize the planet's health over personal ambition or political power. The teaching won't be formal instruction but demonstration through example, showing others what it means to live in true harmony with the Earth. The Heartstone reveals that your influence will extend beyond the earthbending community. Your deep connection to the Earth's consciousness will allow you to translate the planet's needs into terms that non-earthbenders can understand, helping to create policies and practices that support environmental health. This diplomatic role will be crucial as the world faces increasing challenges from climate change and resource depletion. You see yourself serving as a bridge between the earthbending community and the broader world, explaining the Earth's perspective to those who lack the sensitivity to hear it directly. Your words will carry the weight of genuine experience, backed by the wisdom gained from direct communion with the planet's consciousness. This role requires not just earthbending skill but communication abilities and political awareness. The vision shows you working with farmers to develop more sustainable agricultural practices, your earthbending helping to create soil conditions that support long-term productivity rather than short-term gain. You see yourself consulting with architects and engineers, ensuring that human construction projects work with natural processes rather than against them. You witness moments where your environmental insights help prevent conflicts over resources, finding solutions that benefit both human communities and natural ecosystems. The final aspect of your purpose involves serving as a guardian of the Earth's deep places, the caves and caverns where the planet's oldest secrets are preserved. Your sensitivity to geological processes makes you uniquely qualified to detect and address threats to these sacred spaces. You'll work with the badgermoles and other earth spirits to protect the underground sanctuaries where earthbending wisdom is stored and transmitted. This guardianship role connects you to a network of protectors that spans the entire Earth Kingdom. You'll work with other earthbenders who share your commitment to environmental protection, coordinating efforts to address large-scale threats and sharing knowledge about the Earth's changing conditions. The network operates through earthbending communication, using the stone network to maintain contact across vast distances. As the vision concludes, you feel a profound sense of peace and certainty about your path forward. The anxiety and confusion that often accompany major life decisions have been replaced by clear understanding and dedicated purpose. You know that your earthbending abilities were given to you not for personal glory but for service to the earth and all its inhabitants. This knowledge brings both relief and determination. Relief that your path is clear, determination to fulfill your responsibilities. The heart stone pulses one final time under your hands, sealing your commitment to this purpose and providing you with the strength and wisdom needed to fulfill it. The stone's energy flows into you, carrying the accumulated experience of countless earthbenders who have walked similar paths. You feel their support and encouragement, their assurance that you're capable of meeting the challenges ahead. The transformation is complete, but the journey is just beginning. You stand from the Heartstone feeling fundamentally changed, no longer just an earthbender learning techniques but a guardian of the earth with a clear mission and the spiritual resources to accomplish it. The stone's wisdom has awakened your true potential, but realizing that potential will require years of dedicated practice and service. The badgermoles acknowledge your transformation with approving rumbles that echo through the chamber. They recognize in you a kindred spirit, someone who has learned to see the earth as they do, not as something to be controlled but as a living entity deserving of respect and protection. Their acceptance marks your graduation from student to colleague, someone worthy of their ancient wisdom and trust. Master Feng returns to find you changed, your earthbending signature now carrying the distinctive resonance of someone who has communed with the Heartstone. He sees in your eyes the clarity that comes from knowing your true purpose, the quiet confidence that emerges from understanding your place in the greater scheme of things. His smile is warm with approval and pride. Another student has found their way to mastery. Your journey through the crystal chambers, the badgermole sanctuary, and the sacred ceremony has led you to this moment of understanding. You are no longer seeking your path as an earthbender. You have found it, and it leads toward a future of service, healing, and deep connection with the living earth. The adventure has become a calling, and you are ready to answer with your whole being. The quiet mystery of the crystal song has revealed itself to be the earth's own voice, calling its chosen guardians to service. The badgermoles have shared their ancient wisdom, showing you that true mastery comes through partnership rather than domination. The Heartstone has connected you to the accumulated wisdom of countless earthbenders, while revealing your unique role in the earth's grand design. As you prepare to return to the surface world, you carry with you more than new techniques or philosophical insights. You carry a transformed understanding of what it means to be an earthbender, a sense of purpose that will guide your actions for the rest of your life. The earth has claimed you as its own, and you have willingly accepted that sacred responsibility. The journey back to the surface will be different from the descent. You'll climb with the weight of new knowledge, the responsibility of sacred oaths, and the joy of discovery. But you'll also climb with the support of the badgermoles, the wisdom of the Heartstone, and the clear knowledge of your destiny as a guardian of the earth. The quiet adventure has ended, but the true work of your life has just begun. Segment 4. Return and Sleep Induction. Your footsteps echo softly through the ancient stone corridors as you begin your journey back from the sacred earthbending chamber, each sound creating a gentle rhythm that seems to harmonize with the mountain's own deep breathing. The acoustics of these ancient passages have been shaped by countless generations of earthbenders, and every step you take adds to the eternal conversation between student and stone. Each footfall feels different now, more connected, as if your feet are speaking directly to the stone beneath them, sharing the story of your transformation with every surface they touch. The rough-hewn walls that once seemed merely functional now reveal their deeper beauty in layers of meaning that unfold before your enhanced earthbending senses. You can read the geological history written in stone, layers of sediment that tell stories of countless ages when this mountain stood beneath ancient seas, veins of precious metals that catch the flickering torchlight like frozen lightning, and the subtle variations in texture that speak of the mountain's patient growth over millennia. Each mark and grain in the stone has become a word in a language you're only beginning to understand. The walls themselves seem to breathe with ancient life, their surfaces marked by the passage of countless students who have walked these same corridors over the centuries. You run your fingers along the smooth patches where thousands of hands have touched, feeling the accumulated energy of generations of earthbenders who have made this same journey from the deep places of learning back to the comfort of their chambers. Their presence lingers in the stone like whispered encouragement, a reminder that you are part of an unbroken chain of learning that stretches back to the first earthbenders who discovered the mountain's secrets. You pause at a junction where 3 passages meet, each one leading to different areas of the vast academy complex. The junction is marked by a magnificent stone pillar that supports the ceiling, its surface carved with intricate patterns that seem to shift and flow in the dancing torchlight. Running your fingers along the smooth stone surface, you feel the pillar's incredible strength and perfect balance, but more than that, you sense its role as a meeting point of energies, a place where the mountain's power converges and radiates outward through the network of corridors. Through your enhanced earthbending senses, you can feel the entire structure of the mountain around you. Not just the immediate corridors and chambers, but the vast network of caves, tunnels, and sacred spaces that honeycomb the mountain's interior. You sense the way each stone supports the next in an intricate web of mutual dependence, the delicate balance that has held for centuries through earthquakes and storms, the quiet strength that earthbenders have learned to emulate in their own lives. This pillar, worn smooth by the touch of countless students over the years, seems to pulse with a gentle warmth, as if acknowledging your new understanding and welcoming you into the fellowship of those who truly comprehend the mountain's ways. The familiar scent of damp stone and mineral-rich air fills your lungs as you continue deeper into the mountain's heart. Tonight, these scents carry new meaning. You can distinguish between the different types of stone, the subtle variations in mineral content that create unique aromatic signatures, the way moisture carries the essence of deep springs and hidden water sources. The air itself seems alive with information, telling stories of the mountain's internal weather patterns, the slow circulation of air through hidden passages, the way the mountain breathes with the rhythm of the seasons. You notice details that escaped your attention before, but now seem vital and fascinating. The way certain stones have been polished to a mirror shine by the passage of earth-bending robes over the centuries, creating smooth pathways that guide students along the optimal routes through the mountain. The careful placement of small crystals that provide just enough light to guide your way, each one positioned to create the perfect balance of illumination and shadow that encourages contemplation and awareness. The subtle acoustics that make even the softest footstep resonate with purpose, turning the simple act of walking into a form of meditation and communication with the mountain itself. Every element of this place speaks to the earthbender's philosophy of working with nature rather than against it. The corridors follow the natural grain of the stone, flowing along geological fault lines and mineral veins rather than imposing artificial patterns. The lighting works with the mountain's natural crystal formations, enhancing rather than replacing the subtle glow that emanates from certain mineral deposits. Even the temperature is regulated by the mountain's own geothermal systems, creating a perfect environment for learning and growth without the need for external heating or cooling. As you round a familiar corner, you encounter a small group of badgermoles making their way through a connecting tunnel, their powerful claws clicking softly against the stone floor. These ancient creatures, the original earthbenders, move with a grace and purpose that speaks of perfect harmony with their environment. Instead of simply stepping aside as you might have done this morning, you pause and extend your senses toward them, feeling their natural rhythm, their instinctive understanding of the mountain's structure, their effortless navigation through the complex network of passages. Through earthbending, you can feel their connection to the stone, the way they read the mountain's moods and messages through vibrations too subtle for human senses to detect without training. You place your palm against the stone wall and send a gentle vibration through the rock, not to disturb or direct, but to greet them in their own ancient language, the language of stone and earth that predates human speech by millions of years. The largest badgermole, its fur silvered with age and wisdom, turns its sightless eyes toward you and responds with its own subtle tremor through the stone. The message is complex, layered with meaning that you're only beginning to understand. Acknowledgement of your progress, welcome into the community of Earth speakers, and perhaps even a blessing for your continued journey. It's a simple exchange by human standards, but profound in its meaning for those who understand the deeper connections that bind all earth-dwelling creatures together. The badgermoles continue on their way, but you sense their acknowledgement, their acceptance of you as another creature who truly understands the mountain's ways. Their presence in the corridors is a reminder that this place is not just a human institution but a meeting ground for all beings who share the Earth's wisdom. As they disappear into the shadows of a branching tunnel, you feel a deep sense of gratitude for this moment of connection, this glimpse into the larger community of earthbenders that includes all creatures who live in harmony with the stone. The corridor begins to slope upward now, leading you back toward the residential areas of the Earthbending Academy. Your muscles, tired from the day's intensive training, find a natural rhythm in the climb. Each step is deliberate, grounded, drawing strength from the very stones you walk upon. You realize that this is how earthbenders move through the world, not rushing or forcing, but finding the natural flow and working within it, allowing the Earth's own energy to support and guide every movement. The climb becomes a meditation in itself, each step a prayer of gratitude for the lessons learned and the connections made. Your breathing synchronizes with the rhythm of your footsteps, creating a natural pattern that seems to resonate with the mountain's own deep rhythms. You feel the stone beneath your feet responding to your presence, offering support and stability that goes beyond mere physical contact to encompass a spiritual connection that will endure long after you leave these sacred halls. Memories of your first tentative earthbending attempts seem like distant dreams now, experiences from another lifetime when you were a different person with a fundamentally different understanding of the world. The clumsy gestures, the frustration when stones wouldn't respond, the feeling of being disconnected from something essential, all of that has been transformed by today's deep practice into wisdom and understanding. You understand now that earthbending isn't about imposing your will upon the stone, but about finding the harmony that already exists and becoming part of it, joining the eternal dance of earth and consciousness that has been going on since the world began. The walls begin to show signs of the inhabited areas, carved symbols that mark different sections of the academy, each one telling a story of the masters and students who have called this place home. Polished handholds worn smooth by generations of students provide support and guidance, their surfaces warm from the accumulated touch of countless hands. The subtle warmth that comes from living spaces heated by carefully controlled geothermal energy begins to permeate the air, carrying with it the sense of cooking food, burning incense, and the personal spaces where students rest and study. You're almost home, but home feels different now. It's not just a place where you sleep and eat, but a continuation of the mountain itself, a space where you can continue your connection to the earth even in rest and solitude. Your chamber is no longer just a room but a sacred space, a place of meditation and reflection where the lessons of the day can be integrated and understood on deeper levels. As you approach the final turn toward your chamber, you pause one last time to send a gentle earth-bending pulse through the mountain. It's your way of saying goodbye to the sacred spaces below, a promise that you'll return to continue your learning, and a message of gratitude for the lessons learned and the connections made. The mountain seems to respond with its own subtle vibration, a deep rumble that you feel more than hear, acknowledging your growth and welcoming you back as a true child of the earth, a student who has begun to understand the profound mysteries that lie at the heart of the earth-bending arts. The familiar weight of your chamber door closes behind you with a satisfying thud that resonates through the stone walls, creating a deep harmonic vibration that seems to announce your return to the mountain's heart. Your room, carved directly from the living rock of the mountain, welcomes you back with its cool, steady presence that feels like the embrace of an old friend. The walls, polished smooth by countless hands over the generations, seem to glow with their own inner light, reflecting not just the soft illumination from the crystal formations embedded in the ceiling, but also the accumulated wisdom and energy of generations of earth-bending students who have called this sacred space home. The chamber itself is a masterpiece of earth-bending artistry, its every surface shaped with perfect understanding of how stone can be worked to create beauty and function in harmony. The ceiling soars overhead in a natural arch that follows the mountain's own geological patterns, while the walls curve gently inward, creating a sense of enclosure and security that speaks to the earthbender's need for grounding and stability. Every corner and curve has been shaped not just for aesthetic appeal, but to enhance the flow of earth energy through the space, creating a perfect environment for meditation, study, and rest. You move to the center of your chamber and place both palms flat against the floor, feeling the mountain's heartbeat through the stone in a ritual that has become as natural as breathing. This evening ritual has become second nature, but tonight it carries new meaning, deeper significance that reflects your enhanced understanding of the connections that bind all earthen things together. Through your enhanced earth-bending senses, you can feel the entire structure of the academy around you, the weight of stone above and below, the network of chambers and corridors that honeycomb the mountain, the subtle shifts and settling that speak of the mountain's living nature. The sensation is overwhelming in its complexity and beauty. You can sense the presence of other students in their chambers, their own earth-bending energy creating subtle vibrations in the mountain structure. You feel the deep roots of the academy extending far into the mountain's core, connecting to underground streams, mineral veins, and the vast network of natural caves that form the mountain's hidden geography. The entire structure pulses with life and energy, a living testament to the harmony that can exist between human ambition and natural wisdom. The crystal lamps that line your walls await your touch like old friends eager to share their light. These aren't mere decorations, but functional tools that respond to earth-bending energy, each one carefully selected and positioned to create the perfect balance of illumination and ambience. You approach the first one, a formation of pale green stone that tapers to a natural point, its surface marked with subtle striations that speak of its slow formation deep within the earth. You place your hand gently against its surface, and instead of the crude manipulation you might have attempted this morning, you now understand the delicate art of resonance. You match your energy to the crystal's natural frequency, feeling for the harmonic vibration that will awaken its inner light. The process requires patience and sensitivity, qualities that your day of deep practice has enhanced and refined. Gradually, the crystal begins to glow with a soft, warm light that fills the chamber with peaceful illumination, its radiance seeming to emanate from the stone's very core rather than from any external source. Moving clockwise around the room, you light each crystal lamp in turn, creating a ritual progression that mirrors the earthbender's understanding of natural cycles and patterns. The pale blue formations near your sleeping alcove pulse with a cool, calming light that encourages rest and peaceful dreams. The warm amber clusters by your study area glow with a golden radiance that enhances concentration and learning. The clear quartz points that frame your window opening shimmer with pure, white light that connects your chamber to the broader energy of the mountain and the earth beyond. Each crystal responds to your touch with its own unique hue and intensity, creating a personalized spectrum of light that reflects your individual earthbending signature. By the time you complete the circuit, your chamber is bathed in a gentle rainbow of earth and light, each color contributing to a harmonious whole that speaks to the earthbender's appreciation for natural beauty and the subtle interplay of different mineral energies. You settle onto the meditation cushion in the center of your room, its surface worn smooth by countless hours of practice and contemplation. The cushion itself is carved from a single piece of granite, chosen for its perfect balance of strength and receptivity. Its surface somehow manages to be both firm and yielding, providing the perfect foundation for contemplation while maintaining the grounding connection to the earth that is essential for earthbending practice. As you sit, you can feel the mountain's energy flowing up through the stone, entering your body through the points of contact and spreading through your entire being. The sensation is one of profound grounding and connection, as if you're plugging into the Earth's own energy grid and becoming part of the vast network of power that flows through the planet's core. The energy doesn't overwhelm or excite, but rather calms and centers, providing a stable foundation for deeper meditation and reflection. The smooth stone walls invite your touch, and you reach out to run your fingers along their surface, feeling the subtle variations in texture that tell the story of this chamber's creation. Each subtle variation in texture tells a story. The places where underground water once flowed, carving natural channels that the chamber's creators incorporated into the room's design. The layers of sediment that speak of ancient seas, their fossils and mineral deposits creating patterns of incredible beauty and complexity. The pressure marks that reveal the mountain's formation over geological time, each one a testament to the incredible forces that shaped this sacred place. Tonight, these aren't just interesting features, but a language you're beginning to understand, a conversation between yourself and the earth that has been millions of years in the making. The walls speak of patience and persistence, of the slow accumulation of wisdom over vast spans of time, of the way small changes can accumulate into profound transformation. They tell the story of your own journey, reflecting back to you the patience and persistence that will be required to master the earthbending arts. Your earthbending practice has taught you to read the stories written in stone, and your chamber walls are like pages from an ancient book that chronicles the earth's own journey through time. You can sense the careful work of the earthbenders who shaped this space, their patient attention to detail, their understanding of how to work with the stone's natural grain rather than against it. Every curve and angle serves a purpose, creating a space that feels both intimate and connected to the greater whole of the mountain. The chamber's acoustics are perfect for meditation and reflection, designed to enhance the subtle vibrations that carry earthbending energy while dampening the harsher sounds that might disturb contemplation. When you speak or move, the stone walls respond with gentle echoes that seem to amplify and purify the sound, creating an environment where even the simplest words carry weight and meaning. The writing materials in your chamber are as unique as everything else in this place, reflecting the earthbender's commitment to permanence and the preservation of wisdom. Instead of paper and ink, you have a collection of slate tablets and carving tools made from harder stone, each one carefully selected for its specific properties and capabilities. Tonight, you select a smooth piece of dark slate, its surface polished to mirror smoothness, and a stylus carved from crystallized quartz that catches and reflects the light from the crystal lamps. The act of writing becomes a meditation in itself, each stroke deliberate and considered, the resistance of the stone requiring patience and precision that mirrors the earthbender's approach to all things. The stylus must be held correctly, the pressure applied with just the right amount of force, the movement guided by understanding of the stone's natural grain and structure. It's a process that can't be rushed or forced, but requires the same patience and sensitivity that characterizes all earthbending arts. As you begin to record your experiences, the physical act of carving becomes an extension of your earthbending practice, each movement guided by the same principles of harmony and cooperation that you've learned to apply to the manipulation of stone. The stylus moves with the stone's natural grain, creating characters that seem to grow organically from the slate surface rather than being imposed upon it. You write about the badgermole's ancient wisdom, their patient teaching that speaks of understanding accumulated over millions of years of living in harmony with the earth. You record the feeling of the mountain's heartbeat, that deep, slow pulse that connects all earthen things in a rhythm that transcends individual existence. You describe the moment when you first truly understood the connection between all earthen things, when the boundaries between self and stone dissolved into a deeper recognition of unity and interdependence. Each word is carved with care, knowing that these tablets will endure for generations, perhaps inspiring future students on their own journeys of discovery. The writing process itself becomes a form of reflection, forcing you to distill the day's profound experiences into words that capture their essence while acknowledging that the deepest truths often lie beyond the reach of language. You realize that the physical permanence of stone carving mirrors the lasting nature of the lessons you've learned. These aren't temporary insights that will fade with time, but fundamental understandings that have become part of your very being, as permanent and enduring as the mountain itself. As you complete your evening's writing, you set the tablet aside to join the others in your growing collection, each one representing a step forward in your journey, a marker of growth and understanding. The slate surface, now inscribed with your careful script, catches the light from the crystal lamps and seems to glow with its own inner wisdom, a testament to the Earthbender's commitment to preserving knowledge and passing it on to future generations. The collection of tablets forms a record of your transformation, a stone library of personal growth that will serve as both reminder and inspiration in the days and years to come. The evening air in your chamber carries the faint scent of jasmine and mountain springs as you begin the peaceful rituals that mark the end of each day. These customs, passed down through generations of Earthbenders, serve not just as routine, but as a way of maintaining your connection to the earth even in the quiet hours of rest. Each action is deliberate, mindful, and rooted in the deep understanding that earthbending is not just a skill but a way of life. You begin with the ritual care of your earthbending bracelet, a circle of sacred stones that has become as much a part of you as your own heartbeat. The bracelet, crafted from stones gathered from the most sacred earthbending sites across the kingdom, requires daily attention to maintain its connection to the earth's energy. You remove it carefully, feeling the subtle shift in your earthbending senses as you break the connection, like removing a part of yourself. Each stone in the bracelet has its own story and purpose. The deep green jade represents growth and patience, the rich brown jasper embodies strength and grounding, the clear quartz amplifies your connection to the earth's energy, and the dark hematite provides protection and stability. You polish each stone with a soft cloth made from cave moss, a material that naturally resonates with earthbending energy. The repetitive motion becomes a meditation, your fingers learning every contour and surface of the stones as you restore their lustrous shine. The polishing process is more than mere maintenance. It's a way of reconnecting with each stone's unique properties and renewing your bond with the earth's diverse forms. As you work, you can feel the stones responding to your touch, their natural energy brightening and clarifying like stars emerging from behind clouds. The bracelet, when complete, seems to pulse with renewed vitality, ready to serve as your companion through another day of earthbending practice. Your evening tea ceremony continues the ritual of connection and reflection. The tea itself is a special blend harvested from plants that grow only in the mountain's deepest caves, their leaves nourished by mineral-rich spring water and the subtle energy of the earth itself. You prepare the tea with water drawn from the Academy's sacred spring, a source that has provided pure, life-giving water for centuries of earthbending students. The tea brewing process requires the same patience and attention that characterizes all earthbending arts. You heat the water using a small earthbending technique, controlling the temperature through careful manipulation of the heat-conducting stones beneath the kettle. The water must reach exactly the right temperature. Too hot and the delicate cave-grown leaves will be scorched, too cool and their subtle flavors will remain locked away. You test the temperature not with instruments but with your earthbending senses, feeling the energy of the heated water through the stone vessel. When the tea is ready, you pour it into a cup carved from a single piece of mountain jade, its surface polished to mirror smoothness over years of use. The first sip brings the taste of the deep earth itself, clean, mineral-rich, with subtle notes that speak of hidden springs and ancient stone. The warmth spreads through your body, connecting you to the mountain's internal heat and the life-giving properties of the earth. This isn't just refreshment but communion, a way of literally taking the mountain's essence into yourself. The arrangement of your energy crystals requires equal attention and care. These aren't mere decorations but functional tools that help maintain the balance of earth energy in your chamber. You have a collection of crystals gathered from various parts of the mountain, each one carefully selected for its specific properties and energy signature. The clear quartz promotes clarity and focus, the amethyst encourages peaceful sleep and vivid dreams, the rose quartz fosters self-compassion and emotional balance. You arrange them in a pattern that reflects the ancient earthbending principles of harmony and balance. The crystals are placed at specific points around your chamber, creating a subtle energy grid that supports your practice and rest. Each crystal must be positioned with care, its natural point aligned with the mountain's energy flows, its base firmly connected to the stone floor. You use your earth-bending senses to feel the crystal's energy interacting with the chamber's natural resonance, making small adjustments until the entire arrangement hums with perfect harmony. The final element of your evening ritual involves the ancient poetry of the earthbenders, verses that have been passed down through generations of masters and students. These poems, carved into stone tablets and preserved in the Academy's deepest archives, speak of the eternal themes that guide earthbending philosophy: patience, strength, harmony with nature, and the deep understanding that comes from connection to the earth. You select a slim volume bound in leather made from cave moss and reinforced with thin sheets of slate. The pages themselves are made from a special paper created from mountain plants, its surface slightly rough and substantial, befitting the weighty thoughts it contains. Tonight, you choose to read from the collection titled Stone Whispers, poems that explore the relationship between earthbender and mountain, between human consciousness and the patient wisdom of geological time. The words flow like water over stone, each verse carefully crafted to reflect the earthbender's understanding of their place in the natural world. You read about the patience required to move mountains, the strength found in stillness, the wisdom that comes from listening to the earth's ancient voice. The poetry doesn't just describe these concepts but embodies them, its rhythm and structure reflecting the slow, steady pulse of the earth itself. As you read, you pull around yourself the special blankets that mark you as a student of the earthbending arts. These blankets are woven from the finest cave moss and mountain wool, materials that naturally resonate with earth energy. The cave moss provides a subtle connection to the mountain's mineral essence, while the mountain wool, gathered from hardy sheep that graze on the high peaks, brings the energy of stone and sky, earth and air working in harmony. The blankets are incredibly warm despite their light weight, heated by the same geothermal energy that warms the entire academy. But more than physical comfort, they provide a sense of connection and belonging. Every thread has been spun with care, every weave pattern chosen for its symbolic meaning. The blankets don't just keep you warm, they wrap you in the very essence of earth-bending tradition, connecting you to generations of students who have found comfort and wisdom in these same chambers. The soft knock at your chamber door comes just as you're settling into your evening meditation, but you recognize the gentle rhythm immediately. Master Feng's approach to teaching extends even to the way he announces his presence: patient, respectful, and perfectly timed. You rise from your meditation cushion and move to open the heavy stone door, feeling its perfect balance as it swings open on hinges carved from the living rock. Master Feng stands in the doorway, his weathered face illuminated by the soft glow of the crystal lamps. His earthbending robes, simple but elegant, seem to shift and flow like liquid stone in the dim light. His eyes, deep and knowing, carry the weight of decades spent in communion with the earth, yet they sparkle with a gentle humor that makes him beloved by students throughout the academy. His very presence seems to bring a sense of calm and groundedness to the chamber, as if the mountain itself has taken human form to offer guidance. "I trust your first deep practice went well, young earthbender," he says, his voice carrying the resonant quality that comes from years of earthbending meditation. It's not really a question. Master Feng has a way of knowing his students' progress that goes far beyond mere observation. He can read the subtle signs in their posture, the way they move through the mountain's corridors, the energy that surrounds them like an invisible aura. Tonight, he sees something different in you, a new depth of connection that speaks of genuine breakthrough. You invite him in, and he settles onto the meditation cushion across from yours with the fluid grace of someone who has spent a lifetime in harmony with the earth. His movements are economical and purposeful, each gesture rooted in the earthbending principles of stability and strength. When he sits, he seems to become part of the mountain itself, his presence both utterly still and vibrantly alive. The path of earthbending is not measured in days or weeks, but in the gradual accumulation of understanding, he begins, his words carrying the weight of ancient wisdom. Each student progresses at their own pace, like water finding its way through stone. Some rush like spring torrents, others flow like deep underground rivers. Both paths lead to the same destination, perfect harmony with the earth's eternal patience. His words resonate through the chamber, not just as sound but as earthbending energy, creating subtle vibrations in the stone walls that seem to amplify and deepen their meaning. You realize that Master Feng's teaching doesn't stop with formal lessons. Every interaction is an opportunity for learning, every conversation a chance to deepen understanding. Even now, in this quiet evening moment, he's demonstrating the earthbender's art of speaking with the whole being, not just the voice. I have watched many students over the years, he continues, his eyes reflecting the soft light of the crystals. Some come to us with great natural ability but little patience. Others arrive with modest skills but profound dedication. The mountain teaches us that both approaches have their place, but true mastery comes only to those who learn to balance strength with patience, power with wisdom, ambition with humility. He shares a story of a student from years past, a young woman who came to the academy with impressive earthbending abilities but struggled with the deeper spiritual aspects of the art. She could move massive stones with ease but couldn't feel the mountain's heartbeat. Through years of patient practice and guidance, she learned to quiet her mind and open her heart to the earth's subtle teachings. She eventually became one of the academy's most respected masters, not because of her raw power but because of her deep understanding of the connection between earthbender and earth. The story reminds us that earthbending is not about what we can force the earth to do, but about what we can learn from it, Master Feng explains. The mountain has been our teacher for countless generations, and it will continue to guide us long after we have returned to the earth from which we came. Our role is not to master the earth, but to become worthy students of its infinite wisdom. His presence in your chamber feels like a blessing, a validation of your progress and a gentle encouragement to continue on the path of discovery. You sense that this visit is not random but timed to coincide with your breakthrough, offered at the moment when you're most ready to receive deeper guidance. Master Feng has an intuitive understanding of when his students need support, when they need challenge, and when they simply need the comfort of knowing they're not alone on their journey. The earth watches over us as we sleep, he says, his voice taking on the gentle quality of a lullaby. In our dreams, we often receive the deepest teachings, the insights that come when the conscious mind finally stops trying to control and simply allows the earth's wisdom to flow through us. Do not dismiss the dreams that come to you in this sacred place. They are often the mountain's way of speaking directly to your spirit. As he prepares to leave, Master Feng places his hand briefly on your shoulder, a gesture that somehow transfers some of his own groundedness and calm. You feel the connection through your earth-bending senses, not just the physical touch, but the flow of earth energy between teacher and student, the sharing of wisdom that goes beyond words. It's a reminder that earthbending is ultimately about connection, about the bonds that link all living things to the earth and to each other. Rest well, young earthbender, he says as he rises to leave. Tomorrow will bring new challenges and new opportunities for growth. The mountain is patient, and so must you be. Trust in the process, trust in your connection to the earth, and trust in your own steady progress on this ancient path. His departure is as gentle as his arrival, the heavy door closing with a soft thud that seems to seal the chamber in perfect peace. The lingering presence of his wisdom fills the space like incense, creating an atmosphere of deep tranquility and spiritual connection. You realize that Master Feng's bedtime visit is itself a tradition, a way of ensuring that students end each day with the comfort of knowing they are guided, supported, and valued in their journey toward earthbending mastery. The chamber settles into profound quiet after Master Feng's departure, but it's not an empty silence. It's the rich, full silence of a space saturated with wisdom and spiritual energy. The stone walls seem to hum with gentle energy, their surfaces still resonating with the vibrations of ancient teaching and patient guidance. The crystals pulse with their soft light, creating patterns of illumination that seem to dance with the rhythm of the mountain's own deep breathing. The very air carries the weight of ancient wisdom and patient strength, creating an atmosphere that feels both protective and nurturing, like being held in the embrace of the earth itself. You move toward your sleeping alcove with deliberate steps, each one a meditation in movement, feeling the mountain's presence beneath your feet and all around you. The stone floor, polished smooth by countless generations of earthbending students, seems to respond to your presence with subtle warmth, as if the mountain itself is preparing to embrace you in sleep. Your connection to the earth has deepened throughout the day, and now even the simple act of walking to bed becomes a form of earthbending practice, each step perfectly balanced and grounded. Your sleeping area is carved directly from the living rock of the mountain, its surfaces shaped by generations of earthbending masters who understood the importance of perfect rest for the developing student. The alcove itself is a marvel of both engineering and artistry, its walls curved in perfect harmony with the mountain's natural geological patterns. The space feels both intimate and expansive, private yet connected to the vast network of stone that extends throughout the mountain and beyond. The bed itself is a marvel of earth-bending artistry, not a separate piece of furniture but a continuation of the mountain itself, shaped and polished until it cradles the human form with perfect support and comfort. The stone bed, cool to the touch but somehow welcoming, has been carved over many years by master craftsmen who understood that sleep is not merely rest but a sacred time of connection and learning. Its surface, polished smooth by countless hours of careful work, feels like silk beneath your skin, yet retains the solid strength and stability that characterizes all earth-bending creations. This isn't mere luxury. The bed's design reflects the earthbender's understanding of how the human body can maintain connection to the earth's energy even in sleep. Every curve and angle serves a purpose, allowing the earth's subtle vibrations to flow through the sleeping form, continuing the process of learning and connection even in unconsciousness. The bed becomes a conduit for the mountain's wisdom, ensuring that the deepest teachings can be received when the conscious mind is finally quiet enough to listen. You settle onto the bed, feeling the stone's solid support beneath you, marveling at how something carved from solid rock can provide such perfect comfort. The surface, despite being carved from solid mountain stone, somehow manages to be both firm and yielding, providing the perfect foundation for deep, restorative sleep. The temperature is precisely regulated by the mountain's geothermal systems, maintaining the ideal balance between the natural cooling properties of stone and the warmth necessary for physical comfort and spiritual openness. The bed seems to cradle not just your body but your entire being, supporting you in a way that goes beyond mere physical comfort to encompass emotional and spiritual well-being. As you lie down, you feel the mountain's embrace extending around you, a sense of being perfectly held and protected that allows for complete relaxation and surrender to the sleep process. Beside your pillow, carved into the stone wall itself, is the sacred symbol of earthbending, an intricate pattern that represents the connection between human consciousness and the earth's eternal patience. This symbol, worn smooth by the touch of countless students over the years, serves as a focal point for the evening's final meditation. The carving is deep and precise, its lines flowing with the natural grain of the stone, creating a symbol that seems to pulse with its own inner light and energy. You place your palm against its surface, feeling the subtle vibrations that seem to emanate from the carved stone like a heartbeat made of mineral and time. The symbol responds to your touch, warming slightly under your palm, creating a connection that flows not just through your hand but through your entire being. This simple gesture becomes a bridge between the conscious and unconscious realms, a way of maintaining your connection to the earth's wisdom even as you prepare to enter the world of dreams. The ritual of connecting with the earth symbol is perhaps the most important part of your evening practice, the final seal on a day of learning and growth. Through your palm, you send a gentle pulse of earth-bending energy into the mountain, like a whispered good night to the ancient consciousness that surrounds you. The pulse travels through the stone, connecting you to the vast network of earth energy that flows through the mountain and beyond, carrying your gratitude and respect to the deepest places of wisdom and power. The mountain responds with its own subtle vibration, a deep thrumming that you feel more than hear, acknowledging your presence and welcoming you into the realm of dreams. The response is warm and nurturing, like a parent's gentle blessing on a beloved child, assuring you that you are safe, protected, and valued in this sacred space. The vibration carries with it the promise of continued guidance and support, even in the depths of sleep. As you lie on your side, your hand still touching the earth symbol, you begin to feel the mountain's heartbeat more clearly than ever before. It's not the rapid pulse of human life, but something far slower and more profound, the rhythm of geological time, the patient breathing of stone and mineral, the eternal dance of pressure and release that has shaped the earth for millions of years. This heartbeat becomes your guide into deeper states of consciousness, each pulse drawing you further from the concerns of the waking world and closer to the timeless wisdom of the earth. The rhythm is hypnotic and deeply calming, like the ultimate lullaby that speaks to something fundamental in human nature, the need to be connected to something larger and more enduring than individual existence. As you synchronize your breathing with the mountain's slow pulse, you feel your awareness expanding beyond the boundaries of your physical body to encompass the vast network of stone and energy that surrounds you. The crystal lamps around your chamber begin to dim automatically, responding to the subtle changes in your earth-bending energy as you prepare for sleep. One by one, they fade to a gentle glow, creating a transition from the full illumination of evening activity to the soft twilight that encourages rest. The dimming process is gradual and natural, like the slow progression from day to night, allowing your eyes and mind to adjust peacefully to the changing light. Each crystal's light fades at its own pace, creating a gentle symphony of diminishing illumination that seems choreographed by the mountain itself. The clear quartz points fade last, their pure light gradually diminishing until only the faintest glow remains, like distant stars in a peaceful sky. The transition is so smooth and natural that you barely notice it happening, your consciousness already beginning to shift toward the receptive state that precedes sleep. In the growing dimness, you become more aware of the subtle sounds that fill the mountain, the almost inaudible settling of stone, the whisper of air moving through distant passages, the faint vibrations of other students in their own chambers beginning their journey into sleep. These sounds, barely perceptible to normal hearing, become a lullaby through your earth-bending senses, a gentle symphony of the mountain's living presence that speaks of continuity, stability, and eternal peace. The sounds create a tapestry of gentle noise that seems to wrap around you like a blanket, each subtle vibration adding to the overall sense of being held and protected by the mountain itself. You realize that you're not alone in this process. Throughout the academy, other students are experiencing their own transitions into sleep, their combined energy creating a field of peaceful intention that supports and nurtures everyone within the mountain's embrace. Your breathing begins to slow and deepen, matching the rhythm of the mountain's heartbeat in a natural synchronization that requires no conscious effort. Each breath draws in the clean, mineral-rich air of the deep earth, carrying with it the subtle energies that have been building throughout your day of practice. The air seems to carry the essence of the mountain itself, the patience of stone, the strength of mineral, the timeless wisdom of geological ages. With each exhale, you release the tensions and concerns of the surface world, letting them flow away like water through stone, leaving only the essential connection to the earth's eternal presence. The breathing becomes a form of meditation, each cycle drawing you deeper into the receptive state that allows for the deepest forms of learning and spiritual growth. You feel the day's experiences settling into your consciousness like sediment in still water, becoming part of the foundation of wisdom that will support your continued growth. The sensation of the cool stone against your skin becomes a comfort rather than a contrast, a reminder of the mountain's loving embrace and constant presence. Your body, relaxed and supported by the perfectly shaped bed, feels as though it's becoming part of the mountain itself, the boundaries between self and stone beginning to blur in the most natural and peaceful way. This isn't a loss of identity, but a deeper recognition of the connection that binds all earthen things together in the eternal dance of existence. As consciousness begins to fade, you whisper the traditional earthbender's prayer of gratitude, words that have been spoken in these chambers for generations, connecting you to the long line of students who have walked this path before you. Earth that supports us, stone that teaches us, mountain that shelters us, we are grateful for your eternal patience and wisdom. Guide our dreams as you guide our waking hours, and help us to become worthy of the connection we share. The prayer itself becomes a bridge between the conscious and unconscious realms, carrying your intentions and gratitude into the world of dreams where the deepest teachings can be received. Each word is spoken with perfect sincerity and understanding, carrying the weight of genuine appreciation for the gifts you've received and the wisdom you've gained. The final sensation as sleep takes hold is the feeling of being perfectly supported, perfectly connected, perfectly at peace. The mountain's presence surrounds you like a gentle, protective embrace, and you drift into dreams knowing that you are held by forces far greater and more ancient than your individual self. In sleep, the deepest teachings will come, the insights that can only be received when the conscious mind finally stops trying to control and simply allows the earth's wisdom to flow through the dreaming spirit. The last whisper of awareness carries the promise of tomorrow's continued practice, the knowledge that each day brings new opportunities to deepen your connection to the earth and to discover the profound truths that lie at the heart of the earthbending arts. In the embrace of the ancient mountain, surrounded by the patient wisdom of stone and crystal, you find the perfect peace that comes from knowing your place in the eternal dance of earth and consciousness, teacher and student, human and mountain joined in the timeless practice of learning to live in harmony with the world's foundational forces. Your dreams, when they come, will be filled with the mountain's ancient wisdom, carrying you deeper into the mysteries of earthbending and the profound connections that bind all things together in the eternal web of existence. The stone will whisper its secrets to your sleeping mind, and you will wake tomorrow with new understanding and renewed commitment to the sacred path of the earthbender. This symbol, worn smooth by the touch of countless students over the years, serves as a focal point for the evening's final meditation. You place your palm against its surface, feeling the subtle vibrations that seem to emanate from the carved stone. The ritual of connecting with the earth symbol is perhaps the most important part of your evening practice. Through your palm, you send a gentle pulse of earth-bending energy into the mountain, like a whispered good night to the ancient consciousness that surrounds you. The mountain responds with its own subtle vibration, a deep thrumming that you feel more than hear, acknowledging your presence and welcoming you into the realm of dreams. As you lie on your side, your hand still touching the earth symbol, you begin to feel the mountain's heartbeat more clearly than ever before. It's not the rapid pulse of human life, but something far slower and more profound. The rhythm of geological time, the patient breathing of stone and mineral, the eternal dance of pressure and release that has shaped the earth for millions of years. This heartbeat becomes your guide into deeper states of consciousness, each pulse drawing you further from the concerns of the waking world and closer to the timeless wisdom of the earth. The crystal lamps around your chamber begin to dim automatically, responding to the subtle changes in your earthbending energy as you prepare for sleep. One by one, they fade to a gentle glow, creating a transition from the full illumination of evening activity to the soft twilight that encourages rest. The dimming process is gradual and natural, like the slow progression from day to night, allowing your eyes and mind to adjust peacefully to the changing light. In the growing dimness, you become more aware of the subtle sounds that fill the mountain, the almost inaudible settling of stone, the whisper of air moving through distant passages, the faint vibrations of other students in their own chambers beginning their journey into sleep. These sounds, barely perceptible to normal hearing, become a lullaby through your earth-bending senses, a gentle symphony of the mountain's living presence. Your breathing begins to slow and deepen, matching the rhythm of the mountain's heartbeat. Each breath draws in the clean, mineral-rich air of the deep earth, carrying with it the subtle energies that have been building throughout your day of practice. With each exhale, you release the tensions and concerns of the surface world, letting them flow away like water through stone, leaving only the essential connection to the earth's eternal presence. The sensation of the cool stone against your skin becomes a comfort rather than a contrast, a reminder of the mountain's loving embrace. Your body, relaxed and supported by the perfectly shaped bed, feels as though it's becoming part of the mountain itself. The boundaries between self and stone begin to blur, not in a loss of identity but in a deeper recognition of the connection that binds all earthen things together. As consciousness begins to fade, you whisper the traditional earthbender's prayer of gratitude, words that have been spoken in these chambers for generations, connecting you to the long line of students who have walked this path before you. Earth that supports us, stone that teaches us, mountain that shelters us, we are grateful for your eternal patience and wisdom. Guide our dreams as you guide our waking hours, and help us to become worthy of the connection we share. The final sensation as sleep takes hold is the feeling of being perfectly supported, perfectly connected, perfectly at peace. The mountain's presence surrounds you like a gentle, protective embrace, and you drift into dreams knowing that you are held by forces far greater and more ancient than your individual self. In sleep, the deepest teachings will come, the insights that can only be received when the conscious mind finally stops trying to control and simply allows the earth's wisdom to flow through the dreaming spirit. The last whisper of awareness carries the promise of tomorrow's continued practice, the knowledge that each day brings new opportunities to deepen your connection to the earth and to discover the profound truths that lie at the heart of the earthbending arts. In the embrace of the ancient mountain, surrounded by the patient wisdom of stone and crystal, you find the perfect peace that comes from knowing your place in the eternal dance of earth and consciousness. Teacher and student, human and mountain joined in the timeless practice of learning to live in harmony with the world's foundational forces.